it's supposed to feel.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss, that's fact, taking big swings, hand to the bat, put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag, cause I sing what I mean and I bring it to the mad light, ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel, I took a red pill, I know life's short so I wanna live real, but how's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? They wanna say my name, but they holding back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't play no games, I just do that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy, nah, but I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on this shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these things I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living up every breath, I'd rather lead than be led. I'll fill the seats as I spread with every word that I've said. How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel?
Greetings, fellow beings. Ho ho! Welcome to an amazing night. And believe it or not, this will be the one and only time where you will not hear me speak much more than I am right at this moment, because tonight I'm joined by four amazing, potentially more amazing young ladies who have seen a film that we've been talking about all weekend. You've seen me talk about it in my review, and you've probably heard each of them individually, but collectively, I think we're in for a real treat. And we'll start off with introductions. We're going to start off with, well, let's start from the bottom. We've got Carolyn coming to us. How are you, dear? How are you doing?
Hello, I'm good. I am got some caffeine in me. It's a little late, but it's gonna be a good night. It's gonna be a good night to talk about some Barbie.
There you go. And of course, speaking of Barbie, she's rocking it on her t-shirt. It's Miss Cannoli Sasquatch. Good gracious, welcome. Thank you for being here for the very first time.
Yes, thank you for having me. My background looks a little different. I'm displaced due to air conditioning issues, but I'm very glad and happy to be here. So thank you so much for the invite.
Well, I'm glad and grateful that you could join us this evening. I can't believe it. I watched your review on your channel, which is in the description down below, and I think it was fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Speaking of fantastic, let's just, you know what? Let's sneak Miss Bad Take Tina Bojan in here. How are you, dear? How are you doing?
I am very, very well, and you were overly generous mentioning me as part of the young ladies in the group because, you know, Culture's only preceded me by just a few months, but it's wonderful to be here. I love talking movies, and I love sharing my bad takes, so.
That's right. And we really appreciate your bad take. Well, some of us do. Anyway, it's good to see you, Tina. Thanks for being here. Of course, last but not least, she has matching everything, including hair. It's Arwen Avalon joining us. How are you this evening, dear? You did quite well on VR show. Let's see what you got for this one, huh?
Thank you. I'm revved up at this point.
She's ready. She's fired up. Yeah. Hey, if you don't know, Arwen streams in a lot of different places and also her own. So do check her out. She's a fun follow. So thanks for being here, Arwen. You guys are incredible. Okay. That is about as much as I'm going to do. So all I'm going to do is ask questions. I'm not interjecting my opinion at all, at least not for the first hour. So, ladies, I'm taking myself off of camera. And we'll ask you the first question. So let's do a square layout just so we can. There we go. And I'm going to ask the question and disappear. So it's up to you, ladies, to take it away. Oh, wait, I'm going to move people around because my OCD's flipping out. Okay. Okay. First question. Here we go. Did you find the story compelling? And can you break it down in a 5-sentence paragraph? Now, it could be longer. But I'm really expecting you to give me your idea of what this story actually was. And I think we'll start, with Arwen Avalon. Arwen, take it away.
Okay. This one's actually tougher than it sounds because on one hand, you see where they wanted to go and what they think the storyline was, but then the storyline was really this. So which one should I break down? The one they thought it was supposed to be, the one they're selling to us, or the one it really is? The one they're selling to us, I guess I'd just say Barbie finds her mortality and needs to explore it to see what it's like to be of humanity and to be a little bit of an inspiration and to be humble and to be a woman. I think that's what they were going for.
Yeah, for a second.
Yeah, but what we got, man, idiot, bad, stupid patriarchy and women. Yay, Barbie!
It went downhill so quick. I was like, oh my gosh, maybe this won't be so bad. This is okay. And bam, right in the middle. And I went, holy crap, did she just say those words? And then that was it. I really had high hopes. Like you said, because it did kind of go through different patterns where you thought it might be good, and then it just fell off.
All right, so fair enough. And now I want to hear. We're going to do this. We're going to have Kara give her impression of what this story was, and then we'll move to Mrs. Cannoli Sasquatch, and then Bad Take Bojan, because that should be right where we need to finish. All right, Kara, take it away.
I think the way that I would describe it is, there was a connection with Barbie to somebody in the human world. They assumed it was a kid, ended up not being a kid. Kind of, this person was kind of going through their own stuff, and that kind of triggered some reactions to Barbie Land. And from there, it went from a really fun premise to, like Arwen said, boy bad, Barbie good. But they put it in a way that to me felt like satire. A lot of it obviously was very on the nose and very pointed.
That's a good way to put it.
Yep.
But in the end, it was a fun, feminine movie.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, though. I don't know. You guys said it right. I had such high hopes. It started off great. The introduction of Barbie Land was amazing. As a child playing with Barbies, it's everything that you wanted to see on the screen. It had so much potential. Margot Robbie, an amazing Barbie cast.
Yes,
I think Amy Schumer would have been dog crap. Amy Schumer would have played a perfect live action Cabbage Patch Kid. Perfect. I love Cabbage Patch Kids. I'm sorry. Yeah. I used to love her and then forget it. But Amy Schumer was not the right casting choice. I'm super glad that we went in a different direction. It was perfectly casted. All of the Barbies were well represented, which is appropriate. And I think we were on the right track. And then all of a sudden, Ken becomes a simp, and just the whole story falls apart. They certainly hid this in all of the trailers, the marketing. I really thought they were going with in a different direction based upon what I saw out there. And I just think overall it was a feminist wet dream, and I think that they just are eating this up. I know I'm getting a lot of interesting comments on my review. I was actually referred to as a straight, white, privileged woman because I didn't like Barbie.
Because you didn't like Barbie.
Right. Wow. Because I wanted to see my childhood icon be what it is, which is just an awesome Barbie doll that we love to play with, not a whole. And like, some people said Ken and Barbie could have ended up at the end together, and that would have been what our childhood was, because Ken and Barbie in my playland always ended up together.
All right, last but not least, come on, Tina, don't disappoint me.
Oh, I never would, darling. For me, this movie was all about America Ferrera, a woman in her late 30s, early 40s, depending on how old she was when she had her tween daughter. And it was her having this existential crisis for maybe the second or the 12th time in her life, but it really felt like the last time. She was worried about what her future was going to bring is the same position that her tween daughter was in. She was growing away from Barbie. She was growing away from needing her mom. So her mother, America Ferrera, is trying to find out, well, what's her place in the world now? And that's why I really connected with the fact that the whole thing happened with Barbie coming into the real world, because because the mom was playing with Barbie again. And that's why Barbie land was kind of falling apart. So for me, the movie, what could have been something absolutely beautiful. And unfortunately, I feel like the movie was maybe written that way as a coming of age for both the mother and daughter, and their relationship with how important Barbie is in their life, or at least in their childhood. And then I feel like somebody knocked on the door and said, "This is great, but," and hand over a script with a whole bunch of red markings all over it about how we need to, bring in all of the horrible things that women go through and blah, 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 blah in their life. And trust me, I mean, I was in the early 90s, I was the only female programmer in a room full of men. I was the go get us coffee, get honey, and do this and do that. And anytime I would be forceful about something, I was labeled a 5-letter word starting with B. And I can kind of relate to that message that was maybe great for previous generations, and it really frustrates me when I see the children in the millennial and the Gen X, which is the age of my boys. These women think that they're being oppressed, and I'm like, oh honey, you don't know.
Yeah.
Because I compare
We've
that to
come
my
a long
grandma.
way since
Exactly,
even then.
Exactly, because my grandmother worked, stand up in a factory, with pantyhose and heels on every day. She went to work dressed up because that's how women of her generation did, even though she had what would have been considered a very menial, low skill job. And so I didn't mind certain phrases like Canis or Perfluous, because when I was playing with my two sisters, we had one Ken among all of us, and he was there for the wedding, and they did the smash the faces together kiss. And then Ken was not part of what we played with, because it was all Barbie and her little sister, and her little babies, and it was all the clothes and all the cool things that came with Barbie. The only time we ever started having more quote unquote men or Kens in our life was when my brother got old enough and he brought on in his, 11-inch size GI Joes. So all of a sudden we had more men, and then men could really be part of our play. And my brother played with us, and he had his Barbie that was his guy's wife, and blah 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 blah. So it was very personal to me, and I think that's probably where my bad takes always come from, as I look for myself in whatever it is that I'm taking time to enjoy entertainment with. So I didn't mind certain things. And the one thing that I loved, the one line that was great for me, is when one of the Barbies said that we create, no, not one of the Barbies, one of the humans said, we create Barbie and patriarchy to help explain for why our lives are so difficult, that we make it ourselves so difficult. It's that women are actually make each other's lives worse. It's not the men, but we're blaming Barbie, this perfection we're supposed to live up to, and we're blaming men in terms of the patriarchy.
Mhm.
And if the whole movie could have been about that, one line, it would have been amazing. But
All right,
Yeah.
fair enough. I'm gonna let Kara read the super.
In and out. Mr. Grant Gregory for the $2 and on, is that Australian? I'm going to guess it's Australian. I don't know. In a panel full of ladies, culture is the biggest girl.
Thank you.
Mhm.
All right, fair enough. Okay, okay. Well, I'm gonna ask the second question, and I'm not gonna bug you guys. I promise. I'm gonna stay in the back. I'm gonna hide. So, first of all, this one's for you, Tina, because wow, that was, yeah. Second one is, at any point during your viewing, individually, your viewing of the film, did you notice the treatment of Ken or the Kens in Barbie Land and of the men or the men's in the real world? Did you notice what was going on there? Just curious.
How
At-
could you not?
I didn't.
That's the whole movie.
It's so blatant. Yes, we all noticed.
Once again, I didn't notice it at the beginning because it didn't bother me that Ken didn't have a home and that Ken didn't have a job and that Ken. It didn't bother me because when you went to the store as a girl, how many accessories were you buying for Ken? Barbie Land was
Yeah.
all about Barbie, so I didn't have a problem with that. And of course, I didn't notice any, any issues with patriarchy, so to speak, until they went into the real world and all of a sudden, the men were in charge everywhere. I mean, I found it funny that the entire board of Mattel were all men. I thought it was
Mhm.
hysterical because, I mean, come on,
Mhm.
in real life, I mean, I work in a pretty female driven industry right now, but 3/4 of the board are still men,
And they
so I
made a
didn't
joke
think it was
about that
exactly, absolutely.
That
So
didn't
because
bother me.
of
Yeah,
it is.
them being all men, that did not bother me. What bothered me is that you had caricatures with Ken and Barbie and all that in Barbie Land, and then you go to the real world and you have these beautiful pockets and moments where when Barbie's there, she starts getting the sense of emotion, and she's on the
Mhm.
bench and she turns into that old woman. That old woman's
That
looking at her like,
woman.
"What's up?"
I
And
loved
she's
that
like,
moment.
yeah, Barbie's
Mhm.
like, "You're beautiful." And she means that. She sees this beautiful human woman. And the woman's like, "I know," and they kind of have this beautiful exchange.
Mhm.
And then you go to, Will Ferrell buzzing out like he's just a caricature.
Yeah.
The men in there were caricatures in the real world. They
Did
needed
you
them
know
to
who that?
be more real to maybe get their point. If they really wanted to go for that patriarchy thing, well, they missed an opportunity. But they're not thinking about that. They're just thinking about how they want to piece this all together. And it just didn't work for me.
Well, going counterclockwise, Miss Cannoli Sasquatch, what did you notice, or did you notice during your viewing of the film? It's the same question all around, so we're just going in counterclockwise.
Well, I noticed in Barbie Land, they showed all of the Barbies being in control of everything. And then what stuck
Mhm.
out to me is when they hit the real world and Ryan Gosling and I like I said, I don't remember the establishment, but Ryan Gosling found himself walking into a building and there was a bunch of men all around, and there was, this screen showing male presidents and money with men on it, and there was a depiction of the Rocky film and all of these strong men, and he was looking at all of these visions going, wow, I can be like that too. And that was the first time that I really saw, well, okay, this is definitely going in that direction where he doesn't feel like that's how he's represented in Barbie Land. And now what he sees in the real world, he's got to bring back there. So that was the point of the movie where I realized, okay, this is definitely where it's going. And he is seeing men are treated and are represented way differently here than in Barbie Land. So that's when when it hit it for me.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to agree with that. I think I don't think I really noticed anything until till the library whenever he went and found that book.
Oh
And
yeah,
The book.
God.
yeah.
He
That was
went
funny.
and got the book and went back to Barbie Land with it. And that, like, and of course they were having fun with the caricatures of men in the
Mhm.
real world with all the with like the construction workers and the
Mhm.
guy who slaps her butt and she
Mhm.
punches him, and like
Yeah.
they definitely played that up into showing the toxic masculinity of it all.
Yes. Yeah.
And that was the only like like that was the only thing that Ken saw while he was there,
Yes.
was the
Yep.
bad toxic masculinity.
Yes, he
And
did.
that is what he saw and took
Mhm.
back. He didn't see
Yeah.
the good sides of masculinity and
Yeah.
take that back to Barbie Land. That was all he saw, and then took that back. So that's where I can kind of see that a little bit.
Yeah.
But it got I loved the good himbo moments. I needed a good himbo movie, and this accomplished that. I do wish that there would have been at least one guy who had an IQ over 20.
Yeah.
It
Exactly.
would have been
But-
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just
Yep.
weren't.
But I definitely see it, but I was also looking at it from a point of view to where it's a little girl playing with the toys. Like,
Right.
little girls aren't going to
Mhm.
know where Ken goes. Little girls aren't going to know like what Ken does. They're not going to know how to be like it's not even like the whole joke about him being a beach Ken, not
Yes.
lifeguard
Nobody.
Ken
Yes.
or anything
Yes.
else.
You're just
It was
beach
just-
Ken. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah. That was it.
So he didn't have
Mhm.
that job like all the Barbies did, and a bunch of
Mhm.
other Kens that had their place. Like
Yeah.
this Ken, the Ryan Gosling Ken, didn't have that. He was
Right.
strictly just Barbie's Ken. That
Mhm.
was it.
Right. That's true.
But who I think it did
Arwen, you're up.
Oh. For what? Which one? For the
Did
answer?
we? Oh well, I guess
I thought
you
we talked-
technically
yeah, I
already
went first.
answered.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, fair enough. Okay, then. Well, I'm getting.
Oh.
You don't have to go,
Give me a super chat. We got a super chat. You got a
Well,
super chat.
while we're pulling
There
up
we
a super
go.
chat, the one thing I wanted to mention though was I thought it was wonderful that the real Barbie was in the movie, because I mean I don't know if you noticed that was Barbie when she sat down at the bus stop bench.
Wait,
That
what?
was that was
That was
Barbara.
Barbara.
That was Barbara.
Oh,
I did not know
idea.
that.
Yes. So I thought that was absolutely beautiful.
Wow. I did
Okay,
not know
that
that
makes it
either.
all the more cooler then.
Oh, that is so
Okay.
cool.
That's the number one scene in the film. Oh, they had
I
Oh,
thought
I
it was
love
like that was
doll.
the part
They
that
had
really
moments like
pulled at my
that.
heart. Like I loved that
Yes.
moment.
Oh,
Yes,
that's sweet. I
do
like
too.
that.
It was beautifully acted. It was beautifally executed. I mean, it
Yep.
was just the
See,
temperature was
Culture,
right
I'm
all
pulling
around
them
in
over
that
to my
scene.
side. I'm pulling them over to my side, Culture.
I was already there. I already liked the movie.
But-
Like I'm so over. Like I'm over.
Yeah, exactly. And the problem with those beautiful, beautiful scenes, and Karen and I were talking about this earlier, is that they're there and you want them to go there. You want them to continue to go there, but
Mhm.
they don't. And those
They
beautiful scenes
don't.
are so few and far
Skim over
between.
it. They give
That
you like
just-
a little tease of what it could have been.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and then
How
just
it could have
melts.
had a lot more depth and emotion to it.
Yeah,
And we got a man bad slap on the wrist, and
Mhm.
that's it.
Yep.
Here's some pink sparkles. Have fun.
yeah, pretty much.
Right. Right.
And that's what was so frustrating about this movie, because
Mhm.
I wanted it to be good.
Me
I
too.
love Barbie, and I love,
Mhm.
I love that she's been kind of that feminist icon in a sense that, girls can do whatever they set their hearts to. If they work
Yep.
hard or they're kind or whatever, whatever their imagination is. I wanted this to be good.
We should have let Barbie speak for
Yeah.
herself as the icon that she was from our childhood. She didn't need all of this background. I mean, she was developed in the 1960s and had over 200 careers throughout her stages of Barbie. So why couldn't we just let the strongness of the of Barbie just speak for itself without having this gross men bashing story?
Right.
I would have
Right.
really appreciated that. It did not do Barbie justice at all. And I think it just, I don't know. It bothered me a lot because I really think Barbie was something special, and now it's just been kind of not so special. So that bothered me a lot because she really was an icon and a strong female all on her own. And we could have just played with that and left the men out of it. Had a fun Barbie land.
Yeah.
Deranged Lunatic, aka DL, with the $1.99. Didn't they originally play it off as a kids movie? I never got kids movie vibes from it. I
me
never
either.
got vibes that it was directed towards like
Not at
13
all.
and under. I
Mm-mm.
never got that vibe. I knew that this
Yeah.
was going to be more for late teens into like adult women.
Yep, I agree. Especially with some of the jokes and stuff. They were very adult-like. They talked about how they told the construction workers they had no genitalia, stuff like that. And that's not really, I don't know. I mean, kids might think it's funny and understand it, but a lot of the things, even I took my 15-year-old daughter, and a lot of the things went over her head, even being 15. So I don't think, yes, it's being sold as a kids movie. You're right. But I don't think it's necessarily for kids. And at the same time, kids won't see the message that they're trying to push. And then for somebody who's 15, who has a mom like me, who kind of, talks about this kind of stuff, kind of sees it, but doesn't. So it's a hot mess. It's a real hot mess.
It really is.
Makes me
Especially
sad.
when in the trailer it comes across as one thing, and then you go in and see it's something completely different.
And the
Mixed
trailers are all
signals.
different too. Yeah, it does. The marketing was spot on. They were so smart with this. I mean, this really, had you not gotten any of the inside scoops throughout the, these couple of weeks leading up to, I really had high hopes. I'm like, this is going to be great. They're not going to ruin it.
That first interview where they sat down and they had all of them, it just started going downhill from there. You're like, oh, come on.
That was it. I was like, damn it, you're right. Why do they always prove me wrong? I'm so gullible. I really was going in there with an open mind, and then I don't know. It was
well,
awful.
the answer to that is we love our pop culture, and Barbie is a pop culture icon.
Yes.
And
Yes, she is.
Or we're curious, or we're just into pop culture and we're curious. That's what keeps us going with all these films. We get disappointed, but we're gonna soldier on because that's what we do.
Yeah.
Well, shame to all mothers who brought girls under the age of 13 who weren't prepared to deal with the conversations later. Do your research, ladies. Be responsible mothers.
Exactly. Yeah. I agree. I don't think I would have liked to take my daughter if she was younger than 15. I just think it would have confused her, and she wouldn't have understood why Barbie and Ken were acting like this. It's a whole thing. I don't know. I just leave our kids alone, people. Sorry. Yes. I'll get canceled. Sorry. sorry.
Kiss My Grits for a $4.99. Ladies, 2 questions. Who's better, Elle Woods or Barbie? We'll start with that one. I mean, they're both iconic.
Great. I know.
They're both iconic. Barbie has a little bit more history than Elle Woods. And that's, I think I have more nostalgia with Barbie. So that's where I would go.
Same. I agree.
Okay. I have more nostalgia with Barbie because Barbie's my girl, but I love me some Elle Woods, y'all. So I'm going with Elle Woods.
I think they're both great. I think they're both
they are, but yeah, they are great. But Elle just see, this Barbie movie could have been, Elle Woods on steroid.
Yep.
Legally Blonde on steroids, fun and colorful, and with those moments. But no, so I'm going with my girl Elle.
And they had all the pieces. The sets were gorgeous.
Oh my God.
The way they replicated the costumes were amazing.
Perfect.
This doesn't get nominated for an Oscar for costumes.
It should.
Think they're being robbed.
Yeah, I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. Everything, Barbie Land was so magical. It was everything. I just can't say it enough. It was everything I saw as a kid just come to life. And I was so excited.
Mhm.
They did it so perfectly. So
Yeah.
perfectly.
Even having the houses where you could see through,
Oh, yes,
like you could open
everything.
it up, like
Yep.
they seriously knocked it out of the park with
Oh,
costuming and
100%.
set
They
design.
absolutely
They
did.
could not have done better.
You know what the best part was that I have to say that I didn't even think about is how Barbie doesn't walk down the stairs. You just
Nope.
put her in the car and she
Yep.
just comes off. I
Yeah.
loved that part because it's right. You
And the
never
slide.
had Barbie. It took her
The
forever to walk
slide.
down the stairs, the slide, and just flying off the roof and into the car. I appreciated that very much because that was so how you played with Barbies. I loved how they represented
yeah.
that part too. That was great.
And
So
even to like come like she went down the slide and then
Mhm.
went in the front door to go
Yes.
get her breakfast.
Yep.
And like I just thought that was
Because
it
you
was
know
so
those dream houses
clever.
got intricate. They got
Yep.
intricate, and the way little girls, the way we would play with those,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
to see that kind of translated visually.
It was
yeah.
it was
It was
wonderful.
clever.
It was.
It was so
It
clever.
was
It
very
was
clever,
wonderful.
and it was clever, and that's
Yep. They
ugh.
had everything going right for them.
It did.
Everything.
It
It was
did.
right there.
Yes, it was pretty. What's the answer to the second question, ladies?
I was just about to get to that. Would Barbie dump Ken for G.I. Joe or He-Man?
G.I. Joe.
Ooh.
G.I.
Ooh, that's a
Joe.
good one.
Yep.
Definitely G.I. Joe because he probably has a little bit more discipline
Yeah.
than Ken.
Mm-hmm.
But
I think so.
He-Man, y'all. I'm just
I think it
saying.
depends what your brother had in the house if you had a brother. Maybe that is what you did if you had, it depends on what your brother played with.
Well, see, my
'Cause-
brother didn't have a He-Man, but he did have a G.I. Joe. So I snarked his G.I. Joe for my Barbie. But if he had a He-Man,
You would have
I
stole
might have
He-Man.
kept G.I. Joe on the
Okay.
shelf and taken him.
Okay.
Is what I'm saying.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I could see that. I could see that.
You know. So yeah.
Neanderthal 2020 with the $20 super chat. Thank you. What's up, culture? Seems like the girls like this movie. No comment. There are aspects of the movie that we liked.
So much potential. So
Yes.
much potential.
Yeah.
And then
And to be
There,
honest, I'm
there,
kinda
there were
jealous of
aspects
Tina.
that we liked, and I'm
Yes.
sick of being
Yeah.
made to feel guilty because I liked those parts.
yep.
That's
No.
Yeah.
Won't feel
I'm
guilty.
just it's one of those to where like you see so many people in our scene talk about like, oh, everybody's being so like sensitive about this or sensitive about that, and I'm
Mhm.
like, well, you're
Mhm.
kind of doing that right now. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I'm jealous of Tina because hearing her talk about America Ferrera's character and her story and her plight, and I'm sitting there listening, and I'm like, dang, that sounds really good. And I know I watched it in that film because she
Yeah.
has some moments that I really liked, but it's
Yeah.
not what I remember.
mhm.
Right.
It's
Because
and
everything
I
else
and I
takes
wish
over
it
it.
had been. I
Yep.
wish I had that connection because I
Nope.
might
You
have thought differently, but I missed it because of all the other stuff that bugged me.
exactly. It
And I'm
overshadowed
sad.
all the good stuff for sure. Because you had such a
Yes.
bad
It
taste
did.
in your mouth. You were waiting for the next part to get really terrible, and you just miss all the
Yeah.
good stuff. I agree. I'm right there with
And I
you.
wanted to like it, but
Yeah.
anyway.
Well, Mr. Bojan is reminding me that he only flipped the bird off at the screen once during the whole movie, and he did laugh multiple times. So a man walked away from the movie not liking it, but also not hating it. So
There were 4
Fair.
belly laughs in the film, and I can't say anything. Okay,
I love it. Thank you for trying to hold true at least a little bit, culture. I appreciate it. The effort is noted. Wookie be bad for $10. Parts are parts overall. Was it good? It had
I can't.
overall. I wouldn't
I
watch
would-
it again. I wouldn't
Yeah.
watch it again, but
Mm-mm. No, I
I-
can't. I can't say it was a good movie. Yes, there were good parts, but overall,
Yeah.
is it rewatchable? No. Like I said or when I was talking in my review, this was so bad to me in parts. I don't even know the name of America Ferrera's character or the daughter. I had to hear it in other people's reviews because I was so hyper focused on the story itself that I missed even the names of the characters. But I have to say, no, this wasn't a good movie overall. Even though there was good parts, there wasn't enough good parts for me to make it a good movie. The bad parts really overshadowed the bad parts overshadowed the good parts. So I can't give it a
I agree with
at all.
that.
I wish I could. I wish I could.
I
It
agree
hurts my
too.
Ditto.
it hurts my childhood heart. You
Yeah.
guys, I had so much love for this and I'm
know.
disappointed. I wish I could have made a really fun review and said I loved everything about it. I don't want to make crappy, like I hate everything reviews. I mean, but that's what these movies are today. It's
Now, if we
sad.
could go around the board and rate it, what would like 1 through 10? What would each of us do?
Ooh, 1 through 10. Kara.
That's
a
a
lot
that's
of-
a tough
lot of
one.
numbers
I'm
in
like
there.
it.
That
I'm
is
like at a
first.
2.
All right.
I personally, for the parts that I really enjoyed, I gave it a like 5.5, 6 out of 10
Okay.
for me.
Just for those parts, those individual parts.
Yes, for the parts that
Okay.
the parts I really enjoyed really helped kind of boost that score a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's what makes it tough.
But were there enough good parts for you to like? I mean, I guess so. I just don't know.
To
I
me, I
just
feel
don't
like there
know.
were, but I
Yeah.
also really went into it without. I tried to be at like the least amount of pessimistic about the movie as
Yes.
possible. But I
Yeah.
was also like, one thing I noted to Arwen in our last stream is I was watching this while I was working. I wasn't
Oh,
able to
gotcha.
completely fixate. So there may have probably been things that I may have missed, or like little nuances, or not seeing
Sure.
like a
Yeah.
facial expression, like that kind of
Sure.
stuff. So there are
Right.
probably things that I missed. But for what I watched, I enjoyed it. I didn't hate it. It wasn't, I probably enjoyed it more than I liked Mission Impossible 7.
Okay,
Oh,
real
well.
quick. Okay, I'm going to hold you to this, guys. Okay, ladies, I should say. You know what? I'll still call you guys. I don't care. Look, I need
Gender neutral.
I'm from Chicago. Use guys
I
as
can
a
call
term.
you lady dudes or dudettes, right? So anyway,
Whatever.
look,
Not
all right,
lady dudes culture. No, not lady
Dudettes.
dudes. Dudettes.
all right. Anyway, real quick, I'm holding you to it. This was a legitimate question. I need a rating and a number. If you're doing 1 to 10, Kara's on to something. I want to hear it because y'all aren't
All right.
pinning yourselves down.
Okay. All right.
I'll just give it
okay.
a 2. I'm at a 2. I can't rewatch it. I was really disappointed. I got angry in the movie because of some of the verbiage that was used, depicting women. I was really insulted as a woman, and I didn't agree with any of the things that America Ferrera or her daughter said when referring to Barbie, when referring to women. And like I said, it overshadowed all of the good parts for me. So I think I'm being generous with a 2. I really wanted to give it a higher score, but I can't. It just hurt my heart. It was really insulting. I was just didn't like hearing those things about women. It's not what we need right now. Women are awesome, and I'm tired of hearing that we're not.
Well, for me, I loved those, those little individual good parts. They were very,
Yes.
very powerful to me. However, instead of boosting the rating for that, to me, I'd take away from it because it annoyed me so damn bad to see these sparkling moments amidst all that sludge, that they couldn't just go there, with good faith and honesty about Barbie and the story. They had to just mess it up. And I'm sorry, excuse me, that ticks me off.
Yeah.
It really, really did. So I will give it a 1.5 just because pink is my favorite color.
Me too. Me too. And sparkles.
And there was a lot
Everything
of it
pink
too.
and sparkling. I know. I hear you.
Yeah,
I'm right there with you.
I'm so annoyed with it. I just can't say it's a good movie.
I know. Same.
I just can't.
Tina.
I'd say it was a 5 out of 10 for me. I could watch it again because I love the scenery. I love the score. Oh my gosh, I was just bouncing around listening to the music. It was amazing. And once again, I would not mind seeing the costumes all over again. And
They were pretty. I will say that.
and I think that I'd want to watch it again to to listen more, maybe like with closed captioning on to make sure I caught all of the language.
Yes.
Because there were a couple
Yep.
of times that I'm like, did they say that? Did they really mean that? To
Mhm.
where, and
Yeah.
watching it again might, watching it again would probably only bring the score down. I don't think that it would bring it up. But I
Mhm.
definitely could watch it again.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've got to agree with that. Like, if I watch it again and really paid attention, like, my score will probably go down. But
Well, then
for
don't
my
rewatch it. Don't rewatch it.
no,
Keep the
I
faith.
don't. I
The
know,
only
and
way I would
I'm
seriously
happy
watch
with
it again.
being oblivious to a lot of that kind of stuff. I
Yeah.
just wanted a good, genuinely fun, feminine movie, and
Absolutely.
that's what I got.
Oh,
Okay, all right. So, pinning you all down, I don't know how you're saying good things about this film because the highest I heard was a 5 out of 10, but that's fine. We'll go on. I told you, I'm trying not to trying to be good. Here's okay. 3. I know you guys already kind of like stumbled over this one, but we'll keep going. Some people are now claiming that this film was deceptively marketed in a way, in a new version of a bait and switch. In fact, me personally would say it was extreme, but it's your opinion, so I got to shut up. Is this film what you expected, based entirely? Listen to the question. Entirely on the trailers and marketing, right? That's it. That's all you're presented with. Was this marketed deceptively? Now I'm at.
Yes, it was very deceptive in the plot. In the
Yep.
plot that was presented to us in the trailers, it was very deceptive in what they were going to be bringing to the table.
agreed.
And
Agreed.
that is why I think that is the one and only reason why this is doing so well financially at the box office.
Mhm.
The marketing team, they killed it. They absolutely they understood the assignment. Their assignment was help make this movie make as much money as humanly possible.
Mhm.
And they have fed into what we craved. We wanted
Yes.
pink, we wanted bright, we wanted
Yes.
Barbie nostalgia,
Mhm.
and that is
Yep.
what we have gotten.
Yes.
100%.
From the trailers being creative, like that first trailer was like, I was like, what the heck?
Yeah, the smashing of dolls. I'm like, what the hell is this? It was weird.
And so they hired some good people in the marketing team to
Mhm.
be able to successfully take what they were given and to provide what they did to it. That way they knew that they would make as much money as they could this opening weekend.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
did
definitely.
I like that they were deceptive about it? No. But at the same time, I've also been of the mindset of I am so tired of 4 to 5 minute long trailers that show every plot point in a movie.
I agree.
Right.
Too long. It's the whole movie right in the trailer. You're right.
Yes. So it was nice yet deceptive
Yes.
to have that difference.
But see,
Yeah.
I have found that to be more or less a more common trend within the past 20 years. Remember when trailers were trailers and you got the gist of the movie, but it didn't
And
give
that's
anything
it.
away?
Yep.
But when you
100%.
went in, you're like, Star Wars, what it looked like,
Yep.
whatever it was you went to see.
Mhm.
So it wasn't that big of an issue until within the past 20 years. Now they get tricky, and some of them just outright imply, allegedly, which is why they can get away with it, that it looks like this, and then when you go see it, you get that.
Oh yeah, they hit it
And it's
so
annoying
well.
as hell because it's a waste of my money.
Yeah.
I
They
think I'm getting
really
apples
did
and I'm
keep
getting
it.
oranges.
Yeah, they kept it under wraps so well up until the only time we really had any suspect that it was going to go in a bad direction was that
2 weeks.
Yep. The last 2 weeks, they held their mouth shut, and had the actors and actresses not opened their mouths and made certain comments, I would have been so dumbfounded in that movie watching it and then seeing all of the things that they said, because I did not see any of that in the trailer. And if you notice too, there's not a whole lot of, because when I was doing my movie review, I was trying to look for different clips and stuff, and there's not a whole lot of clips of the real world, which is where a lot of this stuff happens, where
Right.
they figure stuff out. So if you look, there are not a lot of clips at all in the trailers. It's a lot of Barbie land. It's a lot of the dance scenes. It's a lot of the, so I really think that they they marketed, like, even my husband said, those people should get a raise. The marketing team was phenomenal. And you know what, though? They'll still make a gazillion dollars because you've got Happy Meal toys, you've got Burger King doing all the pink stuff, and you've got all the Barbie dolls. They didn't even need the money from the movie. They're going to make it on the back end with all of the merchandise. I mean, did you guys see when I went to the movie? I went Wednesday night, so it was this early screening here in Arizona. They were selling the Barbie doll in the pink and white dress with the Corvette with a large popcorn for $65.
Wow. Oh my God.
And it was the
Is it
Barbie.
bad that I probably would have done that?
I know my husband. I texted him and he goes, "We're not getting that, are we?" I'm like, "I love Barbie, but not that much." I'm like, "But it could go in the podcasting room. It'll look really cool." And I was like, "Shit, I get $65." But that's where they're going to get you. They're selling stuff everywhere, and they get you in the nostalgia.
The merch.
The merch.
But what's so ironic?
Being from Chicago, though, $60 is what we pay for popcorn, so that wouldn't have kind of blown my mind.
There you go. Absolutely. That makes sense.
What's ironic, though, is that they marketed the essence of who Barbie was and what she was about in the trailers and the merch, but not in the film. What kind of sense does this make?
Yep, 100%.
It makes no sense to me, but
guess what? They got us all into the theater, didn't they? So
that's true.
They won.
Really worry about once again the moms that brought the younger girls. Like, how do they explain that the opening of the movie is just a replay of 2001: A Space Odyssey? Like, how do they explain that instead of monkeys with an animal bone busting up certain things, it was, a child, busting up their baby dolls because they finally could then pretend to be a real woman and
not a mother.
Right. All the play that they were doing before that was mother based. So I thought it was great and empowering the way the movie was starting. I didn't think it was great that they trashed the toys, but I understand the message that they were trying to
the symbol.
Exactly. So I appreciate it from an artistic perspective, but once again, how do you explain to these 5 and 6 year old girls, sorry culture, but how do you explain to these 5 and 6 year old girls that no, it's never appropriate for you to take your baby doll or, heaven forbid, your baby sister and bang their heads against the table? So that was my issue about the marketing. Is this just I'm really afraid of the irresponsible mothers. Here I'm trying to take care of everybody's child, but the irresponsible mothers that weren't prepared to have this conversation because they didn't pay attention to the PG-13 rating.
Yeah. And a Barbie movie should not be PG-13 ever.
Agreed.
Ever. Yeah. That was weird.
Well, I'm curious as to what a rated R Barbie would have looked like.
Oh,
that could have been interesting. The animated ones, and they're all rated G.
Wouldn't that have just been Harley Quinn? That's a rated R Barbie right there. Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
It's okay, culture. It's okay.
Culture, just say what you want to say.
Come on back.
It's only 12 minutes before the hour. It's okay.
Go ahead. Come on back.
Super chat.
I'm getting there. Wookie Be Bad for $10. 2 through 5 sounds like a bad movie. I'm glad I kept my man card and skipped this. It wasn't for you.
No.
This movie is not for men. I would not ever expect a man to pay money to go watch this movie. That's one of the reasons why I watched it the way I did, because I wasn't about to make my husband sit through that.
I didn't make my husband go either. I dragged my daughter. So
y'all men, don't get it twisted. We're not saying it's not for you. Like, Brie Larson in The Wrinkle in Time that, you old 40 white men stay back. No, we mean literally, it's pink, it's fun, it's Barbie. Wee! You might not want to.
That's all it is. It isn't us trying to bash men for not liking it. Now, given a majority of the really tough criticism that I've seen of it has been through those first initial few reviews that were from men. And so I tend to not our brains work differently. I am
Yeah.
not just there are people who are saying that Mission Impossible is the greatest movie of the year so far, and I think
No.
that's a load of crap.
Me too. It was
Because it was and that's why I think I enjoyed Barbie more than Mission Impossible's, because Barbie had more creativity to it than Mission Impossible did.
True.
Those are the most recent 2 movies I've seen, and that is the one and only reason that I say that is the creativity aspect of it.
I agree. I get you there for sure.
Neanderthal
did.
2020 with the $20. Geez, you all trashed it in the number ratings.
Yep.
I gave it a 6 just because, and I think like a 5.5 and 6 is still really high. And like I've said, it's not my favorite movie I've watched. It was just more enjoyable to me than I expected it to be.
Wow.
I'll be honest. Okay, I gave it a 1.5. I probably could have given it maybe a 4 or 4.5, but I'm still damn salty over the whole thing, and I'm angry about it.
I'm sticking to it
we
too.
have that right to
I'm
be.
so irritated.
Especially us who have the nostalgia of Barbie, who have that
We have a
it
connection.
means more to us
Yeah.
than these guys. It's going to mean a lot more to us than it is going to be these guys, because
Right.
we're going to look
Makes
at
sense.
Barbie
Exactly.
and we're going to kind of have that kind of bitter taste in our mouth now because of how it was portrayed. Now, think of that if like a guy was like watching a G.I. Joe movie and they did the exact same thing but towards women in it. Like, how is that going to be? How is that going to make you feel?
Mm-hmm.
Go away.
That movie sucked.
See, now Mr. Bojan didn't hate it. I mean, he hated it, but he didn't hate it. You know what I mean? As in, he looked at it as a product of the times, all the wokeness, all the baloney, but still, once again, could appreciate the costuming and the sets and that kind of stuff.
Sure.
You know, I mean, the two of us came from theater, so we appreciate and we look for those things in in our movies and our entertainment. And of course, he expected it to be a man bashing thing. It's Barbie. So he knew that all the wokeness from all the interviews and everything ahead of time was going to, was probably a big clue to the fact that there was going to be some major misogyny in there. But
All right. Very good. Thank you very much. We have some more questions we need to get to. Thank you for the major super chat. We appreciate that. Question 4. You guys ready? Because you're making this a long stream now. It's your fault. What is your takeaway from the film? Your overall takeaway from the film? Is there a lesson in it that in particular you would like to highlight? Because I'm gonna freak out. I'm hiding.
The one thing I liked is I like that America Ferrera mentioned the ordinary Barbie. It's okay to just kind of do your own thing. You don't have to be a mom Barbie. You don't have to be like a hot shot in your profession. Just be a Barbie. I enjoyed that because I don't always want that pressure on my shoulders, but that's just me. And so just having a Barbie that isn't just like a specialist in something or something that I'm not very like familiar with, I'm perfectly fine with that.
But I thought
But I also
Barbie was.
Huh?
Wasn't that who Barbie was? She was, what did they call her?
she was stereotypical Barbie, which is different from being, that's different from being an ordinary woman, though. I think those are entirely different things.
Oh, okay.
Like that's why the shirt that wasn't ironed, or just wearing some pants, like some jeans and a shirt that's not ironed, just an ordinary, like, let me be jeans and a t-shirt Barbie.
Yeah.
But I do think that there could have been a little bit more focus on Ken figuring out who he wants to be instead of just kind of oogling over Barbie. Like trying to figure out why he's oogling over Barbie. What is it about Barbie that he's so in love with? Like, I think exploring that could have been fun, but like I mentioned earlier, this is from like the mind of a 9-year-old's perspective, almost, is how they portrayed it to me. But
Anyone else? Lessons? Something to highlight?
I actually took something negative away from it that really bothered me. I don't understand why you can't be a strong woman with a strong man beside you and be a strong couple together. That really bothered me because, like, I have my 15-year-old daughter there, and why can't we be women that can be strong women and still want to be loved and have a strong man next to us? I don't understand why wanting to have a partnership with somebody else makes you weak. You can be all the things Barbie wanted to be and also love Ken. I didn't like that. I don't like these messages that they're portraying where you can't be a strong independent woman and also love a man and have a strong foundation together. That's what I took away from it. That's what bothered me. I felt like they were saying, I don't know, maybe I saw it wrong, but that's what I took away from it. I didn't necessarily appreciate that message because that's the message I heard in some of the movie.
Well, what I was hoping for after the train ride that they took us on with everything, I was hoping for a really nice, balanced, egalitarian ending, where they realized just because there was misogyny doesn't mean you have to, exchange it for misandry, which is basically what Barbie did, the whole community.
Yeah.
And the Kens were reverted back into, being all the little, let's pat him on the head. That drove me nuts.
Yeah.
If they had an ending where, like you said, there was balance and there was getting along and there was a connection and there was all these things, it would have been awesome. But they didn't do that. So I took away that men are going to become patriarchal pigs no matter what.
Yep.
And women are going to have to use their wiles and manipulate them to get what they want. And then to be acceptable to women, men need to act more like women.
Yeah, you're right there. I didn't like it.
That's what I took from that film. And that's why I gave it a 1.5, y'all, because it annoyed me so bad.
Yep. I agree 100%.
My biggest bad take from the whole movie is at the end when she showed up for her gynecologist. And I went, oh, she wants to be a mother.
Annoying.
I thought she wants to be a mother. Isn't that a full perfect circle? Came from the girls who didn't want to play with baby dolls anymore, all the way back to here is the stereotypical Barbie who now wants to be a mom. So it was like a beginning circle to end. Once again, I think that there was a beautiful movie in there somewhere.
I would have liked that ending so much more, but that is not what I got from that.
I was like, oh, she's gonna go work at Mattel. That's what I thought. But it also
weird.
didn't, like, I kind of wish that she could have gone and worked for Mattel. And
the gynecologist thing was just weird to me. It just was a
weird that didn't make any sense to me.
And I wish I would have seen the fact she wants to be a mom. I didn't even get that part. So if that is what was intended, that is a better one. I just got that's the first stop that on this real world train she's going to is to the gynecologist. How does she even know about it? It was weird.
It's like we've got, now I got a hoe Barbie.
Right. It was out of left field.
Like, that's what you think of Barbie.
It was what I got out of it was a comment that goes back to what she said to the construction men about how she didn't have her lady bits and Ken didn't have his bits.
Right.
So that is the only thing. She's like, oh, well, we're not real humans, like, so we don't have these things. And in order for her to kind of fit into the real world, that's what she needed.
That makes sense. It's kind of what I was thinking, but it was just weird.
I wish that hadn't been the ending. After
I know.
Yeah, I don't think that should have been the ending either.
And her, her inventor, that gorgeous heavenly, again, little diamond in the sludge, but there it is.
Yep.
And then that's what you get, because that's the next scene of her, that end. And I'm like, that's what you get from it. You want to go get some bits. Kibbles and bits. I don't know. It was confusing and I didn't like it.
And that's the point, right? That's why there's a legitimate question on the screen right now. As a dude, you're watching this thing. That's the last thing that's there. And your takeaway, and mind you, I wasn't going to say much during this. I'm going to say this one line, and y'all can agree with me or not. Don't care. But I feel like this is just one step short of saying out loud that, hey, girls, get ready for your OnlyFans page.
Okay.
It's skanky Barbie, and maybe I'm wrong for feeling that way, but that is how I feel, because it's like, again, beautiful moment about mortality and life and imagination and dreams and
New
who you are, and
beginnings.
everything, and then seeing, hey, I'm gonna go see my gynecologist so I can snip.
That's
It's
why I really
jarring.
felt
It's very jarring, and it takes you out of that beautiful moment, and it throws you into something that I don't need to know about Barbie.
Yeah.
I don't need to go
just
there on
off-putting.
that journey with her. That's
And
her
if you
journey.
brought kids, like if a kid's going to go, if you did
No.
bring somebody younger than my daughter, 15, they're going to go, Mom, what's a gynecologist? Can you explain it to me? Granted, our daughters do need to know that, but not at the ages if you think this is a Barbie movie. Let's take our 5 and 7-year-olds. Mommy, what's a gynecologist? They couldn't even say the word. So I didn't like the note that the movie ended on.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Yeah, I didn't like that either.
I still
If they
thought
would
she
have just
wanted to be a
admitted
mother.
the last scene, it could have had a good ending.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, and a lot of people have that same sentiment there, Mrs. Cannoli Sasquatch. So
yeah,
I've got to figure out a nice short name to call you.
You can call. No, I'll tell you. I am known as Mrs. Sassy because I have a Sunday stream, Mrs. Sassy Sunday stream, or Mrs. C. So Mrs. Sassy or Mrs.
Well,
C.
you know what? I'm a Happy Days fan, so you're my new Mrs. C.
Okay, perfect.
Right,
There you go.
All right.
like
So we got one last question, and then
All
of course lots of comments. I'm sure that we'll all discuss in just a moment. But I put this in the little prep packet that I sent you all, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's important because I think it shades how you look at this film. Because I guarantee you're going to have personal memories of real life Barbie memories that you already shared a little bit of earlier during the context of this conversation. But are there any of those Barbie moments that were in your past when you were playing with them as younger people that actually inspired you in your overall life? Did that playing with Barbies, did those moments inspire you in any way to be what you became, to be what you are, to be what you hope to become? I'm just curious. It's a good question.
That's a good question.
It is a good question. Wow. It's a deep one.
I
gotta
don't
go back
think
a ways.
really,
I've got to think.
I don't think it really did much for me personally. I was always I was a lot more into video games than I was into like dolls and stuff growing up. Like I had made this joke earlier. It's like all of my Barbies were Pokemon Masters. Like all of them were. So I had a very mixed perspective into like my toys growing up. Like I didn't have a whole lot of Barbies. Like I didn't have any Kens. I think I had maybe one Ken and like a couple of action figures growing up because I had an older brother. But to me personally, I don't feel like it shaped who I have become, but I do know that there was a lot of really good memories that I've had with Barbie. And ones that even 20 almost 30 years later that still come to mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't think it shaped my life in any way, except I didn't have the best childhood, and I don't have a lot of good memories from my childhood, but the one of the good memories was the Barbies and the hours and hours and hours I played with Barbies and all the accessories. And I just had everything possible that I could have. I know it sounds weird saying I had a bad childhood, but I had all these fun toys. Doesn't make sense. But it got me through a lot of times when I was, like I said, parents going through divorce and all that stuff. The only thing I remember is I always wanted to be a mom, but I don't necessarily think that had anything to do with Barbie. It was well-rounded with baby dolls and Barbies and all that stuff. I've always been a girly girl. I love dressing my Barbies. I don't know if that has anything to do with loving fashion now. It's hard to say because it was so long ago since I played with Barbies, but
That makes sense.
Yeah, but I think if anything, it was just, I always was the caretaker. I love being the caretaker. I did that a lot with Barbie, just playing house. And I had mentioned this in my review. I was the one who played with Barbie, and she stayed at home and took care of the kids and played in the Barbie dream house, and we sent Ken off to work. That's how I played with Barbies and, Barbie and Ken. So I, although I've never been a stay-at-home wife or mother, I'd like to, but, that didn't pan out. But I just think Barbie, whether it shaped you into who you are today, it definitely made a huge impact in your childhood. I can say that at least.
Hey, there's somebody I recognize.
It's hi, Mr. Cannoli Sasquatch from the other room. Yep.
For me, I will always associate Barbie with one major point in my life. I don't really remember a lot. I mean, I had it all. I had the Barbie and the ovens, the little ovens, and then the heads where you could do the makeup and do the hair, and then the individual Barbies, the dream house, the cars, all the accessories, all the Kens. I had all that. But to be honest, I don't remember what I played when I played with them. It's not like, I was doing something one day and dressing Barbie and, and like you said, did that influence my love for fashion? It was nothing. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
What I do remember though, and I will never forget, is there was a big community sale, like a big subdivision sale, yard sale, collective one of all the houses. And I was, I think, 11 or 12. And my parents were like, okay, you need to get some toys to donate, And I was like, all right. So I was looking at all my toys and I was like, what could I donate? And I was standing there and I was looking at my huge Barbie dream house, that big, beautiful pink and hearts Barbie dream house, and all the shenanigans that went inside it. I loved that thing. It was my pride and joy. And I was looking at it. My mom came over and she was like, are you thinking about selling that? Are you thinking about donating that to sell? And I said, I don't know, Mama, I'm thinking about it. And she's like, well, I want you to think about it and only do it if you're sure, because that's your love. That's your pride and joy. And I thought about it for 2 hours and I decided, you know what? I just don't want it anymore. And it's not because I don't love it. It's because I do love it. I love it so much and it brought me so much joy. I wanted to pass it on to someone else.
Wow.
And when I did that, though, when it sold, I realized, as an adult now, I realized what was going on. I was having kind of a rite of passage, a coming of age story. I was growing up. I no longer needed it. And that's when I started to become, into my preteens and get into boys and get into music and makeup. And I was becoming a young lady. And it was the releasing of the Barbie that was pivotal for me to realize that. So that's my one Barbie.
Cool.
That's why she's my girl.
I like that.
That's a
really good moment.
Great story. It's that moment where they're sitting on the bus bench and she's looking at the old woman.
Yeah.
So, oh man. Okay. All right. Well, we have got a couple more super chats. I'll let Kara take.
Southern Belle 7777 with the $2. Barbie R-rated. See the CW's Nancy Drew. I haven't seen that.
I haven't either.
Now I don't want to. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I love Nancy Drew games, like growing up, all that kind of stuff. But I don't know about like a CW Nancy Drew. That doesn't sound good. Neanderthal 2020 with another $20. You all are pretty sensible for women.
Thank you.
Thank you for the backhanded compliment.
Right?
Cheers.
It's a rude compliment.
You're pretty nice.
It's
for
been known to happen
Neanderthal.
once in a while. We get sensible sometimes.
That's right. Oh my gosh.
Mr. Bigwig Majig, you
have to do it all in a row. It's Mr. Bigwig Majig, AG, Lig, Vitham, Jam, Figstig.
There you go. With $2 Australian. Can Arwen say my name? I love the accent.
Are you serious? Oh my God. I don't know. Culture might take me 20 minutes to get through it.
Oh
That's
my
right.
God.
I got nothing but time.
All right. I can't sing song because I'm too tickled now. All right. I got the giggles. Mr. Big Wig Bajig, AG Lig, Vietnam Ham Jam Fig Stig.
Good job.
There we
Very
go. I
nice.
love the little.
Nailed it.
I did not
Very
think I was
nice.
going to get through that.
Survey said.
Oh my god, I love it.
But thank you for the compliment.
Joe's Atmosphere with $1.99. Foxy and I enjoyed it, definitely for the girls.
Yeah, he took his boss and they posted themselves in a picture in in the giant Barbie box, right? It's kind of a cute little image.
Okay.
They're both pinked out too. I'm like, oh, Joe, come on, bro.
Yes. I love it.
Iconic. She draws them all from the fields. Everybody goes at some point.
Yeah, because because if you're with a lady, they're inspiring you to do crazy stuff. But I do have a member chat. Carrie, you want to read this member chat?
Sure.
gosh.
Commander Ed Straker of Shadow, member for 27 months, Gold Club member. Maybe the best way to rewatch Barbie is how guys rewatch Baywatch. Great visuals, scenery, volume off,
Perfect.
dialogue won't break your heart and brain. That's
It's
that
an option.
that is an option.
That's an option.
It's an option.
Could probably go for that.
Yep.
I bet my
could see
rating
that.
would go up if I did.
Me
Yep.
too.
You know it.
Me too.
Yep. Culture, do you have any final questions for us?
I have to say that this went as well as I could have expected, especially with the amazing talent that's on the screen. Ladies, you acquitted yourselves rather well, and I appreciate everything that you did for the stream. Would you fancy entertaining gentlemen joining this at this point, or are many of you off to bed? I'm curious what your plan is.
I should probably get going. I do apologize.
I'm
I would
gonna
love
go
to
to
be
bed.
on. I would love to be on more,
No,
but it's been a crazy weekend, and I got to go to work in the morning. I have this stupid day job that takes away from YouTube. It's so annoying.
All right. Well, with that being said, I'd like to promote you. I would like you to promote yourself. So you're big now.
Oh, thank you so much. So I am Mrs. Cannoli Sasquatch. You can find me on Twitter at Mrs. Cannoli Sass. My YouTube channel, Mrs. Cannoli Sasquatch, of course. I do a Sunday stream at 12 noon Pacific Standard Time called Mrs. Sassy Sunday Stream, where I just talk about all the crap going on throughout the week, especially pertaining to women and where we get mocked and screwed. Anyway, and then I do a show with my husband on Mr. Cannoli Sasquatch's channel. It's not just Mr., it's Cannoli Sasquatch. On Fridays, we do a Cannoli Connection once a month. This coming Friday, we're going to have Fear the Beardo on from Geeks and Gamers. So once again, I'm Mrs. Cannoli Sasquatch, and you can also find me over on Cannoli Sasquatch's channel.
That's right. And if you want, you can find that right here. There's a link down there.
Thank you.
Thanks to Mr. TT. I appreciate all of his love. Carrie, you get to read another super chat. Are you excited?
Oh, snap. Southern Belle 7777 with $2. Spoilers. Nancy, Bess, and George sleep around. That doesn't sound very fun. I'm good. I probably won't watch that.
Not gonna check in on that, Carrie?
Absolutely not.
All right, fair enough. Wait, I'm good. Calm down. Why would you say that? All the links for all these lovely ladies are in the description. I have sent out the clarion call to the gentlemen of the conversation. So if any of them want to roll in here now, that would be fantastic. Otherwise, I guess it's just going to be pink shirt casino for a while. Because I think that this lovely lady wants to bow out, and she's awesome. She's probably going to be. There's this Midnight's Edge thingy that sometimes she's on, and she does some other stuff. Yeah, I mean, tomorrow's a big deal stream. You're on a big
Tomorrow is going to be like, are you talking about Toxic Femme tomorrow?
Yes, I am. Yes,
Toxic
I are.
Toxic Femme is going to be a banger tomorrow. No, it's not that I don't want to face you, Tom. It's just you're going to get a piece of my mind tomorrow. Let's save it for then.
And I have a question before all of you leave, but keep going, Kara. Keep going.
But my name is Carolyn. You can find me at Kara Creates on Twitch. No, not Twitch. On Twitter and on YouTube. It's just Carolyn on Twitch. Lately, I've been trying to stream a little bit more on YouTube. I've started doing like D&D miniature painting on Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern, and on Thursdays, I do No Man's Sky with X-Ray Girl and That Tug Life. And on most Mondays, you can find me on Midnight's Edge for Toxic Femininity with the lovely Tom in the chat. Whether we're curious to, I'm curious to see our discussion tomorrow. You're gonna want to show up for this. I'll tell you that.
I'm so intrigued. I must admit, I am intrigued.
I am too.
The toxic fem chat has been very interesting the last few days. That's all I'm gonna say.
I bet you it has been. There are two of you young ladies left with me. Are you sticking around or are you going to bed? Because I have one last question I need to ask y'all.
I can stick around unless y'all legit just want to be a bunch of Kens.
No.
Well, I can deal with the ladies.
No,
I know how sometimes guys like to be guys.
I love the ladies. I love it when y'all are on. So Tina, are you good or are you crashing? Because I know you're way late there.
Actually, I think I'll hang on for a little bit as long as Tom doesn't make me cry.
He won't. He loves you. All right. So final question, ladies. This is important. Were y'all aware that in California on Malibu Beach, there is literally a Malibu Barbie beach house that you can rent as an Airbnb? Were y'all aware of that?
Yes.
All right. Or would you spend the amount of money required to stay there for the full week?
If I had it, sure.
All right. Fair enough.
If I had it, yeah, why not?
All right.
There was this episode on it's on some HGTV show, but they had a whole Barbie episode today where they were making Barbie dream houses, and it's an episode I kind of want to go and watch.
I want to watch that. I gotta watch it.
I was watching HGTV earlier this afternoon, and the trailer or a commercial for it came on. I was like, okay, I kind of want to watch that.
I need to watch it. Yep.
Yes, I'll probably put it on during
work. I agree with Tina. If I had the money, yeah, I'd do
this would have been a boss move right here, right? If I rented the house for y'all for a week this year.
I know. I was like, where's this going? Is it a surprise?
It would have been phenomenal if I had thought of it. Man, I'm pretty dumb. But no, that'd have been pretty boss. Yeah. All right. Well, on that note, I figured y'all would be like, crashing that house for a bit. So if I were ever to be able to have a big enough channel, I could do that for you. I'm not Mr. Beast, by the way. But if I were, I would definitely spring, because you guys were wonderful sports. And I'm going to warn you, Tom's in the back room. Did you want to say hi and bye, or did you want to flee?
Bring him in that way I can just wave and bye, Tom. I love you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Oh boy.
Yeah, y'all want to gang up on me. I see how it is.
No, that's not it at all. I don't want to gang up on you. It's just that you're in a group chat with a bunch of girls. You're kind of outnumbered.
Hey, you know what though? Like, nobody's giving me credit for all the shit I took and how I rooted for this movie and how I didn't even.
But I'm
listen
also
to
not
Culture.
giving you shit for all of the shit.
You're
that
the only one who
kind
of isn't really, besides Steph and a few others. But like Nina and I are just going at it like
I'm
crazy.
keeping it to myself for now. I have my words I want to say. But
okay, so here's the thing. I'm not going to do that now. You guys are too.
It's like
you guys
a
are too
soap opera. Tune in tomorrow to see what Kara has to say to Tom.
Oh,
we're all sitting here going, "What is she going to say to him?" This is intriguing.
Ladies, thank you for those of you who have to leave. You are amazing. I appreciate you both. Thank you so much for hanging. Love you.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate
it.
Good night, you guys.
You're welcome anytime. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye. And then there were 4. Actually, there's 5 because Jason's been hiding in the back too. He didn't want to come in here when the girls were. He's running the internet still. Look at this.
All right.
Jason is still running the internet.
It's because he's afraid of women.
He's not afraid of women.
I married a woman.
That's right.
Hence why you're afraid.
4 years ago today, actually.
You know why you should be
Happy
afraid.
anniversary.
Hey.
You know what they're capable of.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, I will say this. I warned everybody what this film was.
I like to live dangerously like Mikey.
I warned everybody what this film was. I told them going in, this is what you were going to deal with, and I was not wrong. Wow, you won't believe what Kara's going to say to Tom. Goodness,
I know it's probably going to make me cry.
I doubt it. This mind intentionally left blank became a YouTube member. Well, thank you for joining us on the high rollers level. Holy cow, with the big buck. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, you know what? Josh Post says, happy 4-year anniversary. I concur. G.I. Jane 2, Barbie Strikes. Yikes. Okay, that's going to be a heck of a sequel. You know what? I haven't played a thank you to all of you wonderful.
Oh, Christ. I didn't mean to remind you of that.
Yeah.
That slows the show down so much.
We're doing one right now.
Wow.
Wasn't it?
That was enough. I don't.
Oh, man, that's some sweet cheddar. Guys.
And he tries to butter up to me with some cheese.
I figured you'd like that from being in Wisconsin. So thank you very much for joining High Rollers. This Mind Intentionally Left Blank, which is one of my favorite names on YouTube. We have Master Sidearms calling out the future. An RK Outpost video is coming. Kara faces off against Tom. This is a huge. Midnight's Edge is in chaos.
I don't know if Kara and I could fight.
See?
Nina and I maybe. Kara and I don't know.
We all want to know what's going to happen.
Oh boy. Is Culture Ken and Arwen Barbie? The missus is right there in the other room.
Oh, he's talking because of the pink.
Well, they aren't together anyway, so what's the difference?
Yeah. We got CC Muppet budget must be huge. It is. I got lots of Muppet puppets. I got even more clips I haven't put into place yet.
Oh, there's more?
I do, but I haven't put them in place yet because y'all whine about them. Speaking of whining,
well, change them up a little bit, maybe. And they can't be so long, dude. They got to be like quicker than that.
That's what. Well, I've never had that complaint before, but all right.
Well, this is a situation where the ladies will appreciate it if you keep it brief.
I don't think that's true, but I do know this. I do know this. We had a couple more starred ones that I left in the back. Kay Roberts said this during the stream. I wanted to post it so quickly, but the ladies.
Where's the rest of the men now? Like, am I the only one
know.
showing up?
I left it in the chat.
You and Jason don't count. Y'all are married.
All right. Oh wait, I can take this off now. Okay, excuse me, Tom. Run the show for a second. I'm gonna go change.
How the fuck do I do that? I don't have I can't run nothing.
Talk about things.
I hope you got the wheel, man.
The pressure now, right?
Pressure pushing down on me.
That's not vague, is it?
So what do we think about Twitter's new name?
Oh wow, that's a good question, Tom.
X. I think it's exciting. No, I think it's fucking stupid.
Wait,
Twitter well, I mean, the marketing is built in. X marks the spot.
Yeah, it's about as bright as changing HBO Max to Max.
Yeah, it's dumb. It's dumb.
It's like we have something that's one of the most well-known names in history or well-known brands. What should we do? Let's change it. That always works out.
Like spinning.
That's a neat trick.
Yeah.
That's a neat trick.
I just
Twix. I like Andy. Yeah, I saw you do that on. Now that would be smarter, but Twix would be like, "Fuck you guys."
Exactly. But what are they going to call tweets now, though? What are they going to call tweets? I mean,
I don't know. X's. I got plenty of those.
Oh God.
Yeah.
X's.
I saw somebody had posited
X's and
the theories that there were going to be three tiers. You're going to have your regular X content,
double X and triple X,
and the double X and triple X. Like you
and triple X level is just an all-out fucking dating site. Like he's literally cut out the middleman, and now
all the not safe for work, and
God,
Tinder
yes,
and Rumble or Tumblr.
Yeah. No. Why do
Like-
they gotta pick and mess with stuff when it's not even broken? Just leave it the hell alone.
I know, it never makes sense to me. It's like you have,
Pisses me.
it's like Bud Light. It's like you dumb shits.
Yeah. Who didn't see that coming, right?
I mean,
Even
at
if
this
you're
point, they're better
supportive
off
of that,
changing their
who didn't
name,
see
right?
that coming?
Well, and I have to wonder if it's one of these things where he's doing it to see what happens and then he's not going to do it.
Yeah.
I
don't
would
know.
suspect that he probably is kind of doing that. It's like a little test marketing in a weird way. But
Well, doesn't he have
honestly,
some other app called X or something like
yeah,
that already?
actually, he owns that whole X thing, and it makes a lot of sense because that's what he started as his digital bank. Remember, that was the first thing he really kind of caught fire with. Eventually, it merged with another company and became PayPal. Y'all remember that?
Oh yeah.
So back in
Well,
2017,
isn't he involved in Dogecoin too?
yeah. But
Yeah.
but he's also he's also I mean, this guy's smart. I mean, I'm sorry, he's doing big things that many of us can't think about. But Southern Belle for $2 says X sounds like a piranha. Well, it's not. It's like
a
not.
good association for a general thing like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not an Axel Braun piranha, but I.
Uh,
Give it time.
Oh boy, I know.
I mean, Rumble keeps making all these exclusives. Maybe X makes some exclusives with some X-rated content. I don't know.
That's right. Weekend at Cultures, indeed. Yeah. So this, I feel more masculine in my Hawaiian shirt. Let me tell you. I don't mind the pink shirt. It actually looks really good on the golf course. So, but yeah. Usually
So what fucking Barbie movie is all these people seeing? I don't get it.
I don't know either. I do know this, that Southern Belle sent. Wait, that was all right. I already said that one.
Well, I'm being told that I'm overreacting.
What context are you coming at, Tom? Because there's a lot of opinions on it. So
I know there is, and that's the thing. But I mean,
When
this
are you
movie
disagreeing
making the amount of money it is. I see this. Here's my thing. I read tea leaves. That's my job, right? Like I predicted the Mission Impossible thing. I predicted the Sound of Freedom thing. Here I am again saying this thing, and everybody's going, "Oh, you're fucking crazy." Well, here's what I see reading the tea leaves. This movie is divisive as fuck. The more I watch of it and the more I revisit in it, the more I'm picking out little things that people have missed already and that we haven't even begun to discuss. There's so many subliminal levels to this movie, to the point where there's stuff that's not even subliminal that we're being distracted by. Like, I can't even believe we haven't brought up the fact that the Kens build a wall in this movie.
Well,
nobody's brought that up and talked about it.
They
what do you
build a
think
tower.
that's talking about?
Oh, we already
yeah,
know
but the
what that
fucking
is.
point. Come on, man. That's what I'm saying. And I brought up the blue and pink and purple thing earlier on my stream.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, I mean, there's so many subtle levels to this on top of the levels that are clearly not subtle at all. I get it. Some people are reading into this movie a lot more than what's actually there. Like, that's my problem with this. Is people are just overlooking so much shit that I'm just like, what movie are people seeing? And I'm not trying to be mean or anything like that, but I'm just like looking at this going, I seeing this sowing divisiveness in our own backyards now. This is something that we've dealt with every movie or so that's ever come out in the last fucking 5-6 years. And now I see now is a bunch of people giving it a pass and saying the same kind of shit to me that was told to me when I was griping about Star Wars, or I was griping about Star Trek, or I was griping about Ghostbusters. And I'm not trying to be overly sensitive or anything here, but I see this happening. I can see a battle of the fucking sexes coming about because of this movie. All of the progress we had just made in the last year by killing all these blockbusters at the box office, including sacrificing Mission Impossible, out the window. All the fucking progress made by Sound of Freedom, out the fucking window. We are right back to square goddamn one. We are right back to 2016 Ghostbusters, only this is fucking worse because our own wives and girlfriends are going to sit here and go, you're just overreacting. It's just a silly movie. It's a satire. It's making fun of it. No, it's not. It's shoving this shit down our throats, and it's teaching our children how to be mean bitches.
Well,
this movie should be for 8-year-olds. I should have walked out going, you know what? It was cute. I got diabetes all over again. It wasn't made for me, but God bless it. The 6-year-olds are going to love it. Instead, I'm walking out of this movie going, oh my God, I'm embarrassed for the parents and grandparents that just had kids in this movie. What the fuck is Mattel thinking? They had a fucking gold mine here, and they bait and switched everybody into this political fucking mess that we're in right now. And I've been dealing with it for the last 3 or 4 days, and all I can see is it's going to get worse and worse and worse, because some people are just going to go, oh, it's just a silly little movie, or they're not going to listen to us because we're men. So our fucking opinion don't fucking matter at all. And any woman who's going to go on that side of it is going to be, oh, you're just a misandrist, or you're just siding with them, or you're overreacting too. And for a lot of women who have been tired, and this movie beats on a lot, is treating men like they supposedly say women have been treated for all these years. I'd like to know when these years were. When? The 18 fucking hundreds? Because that's the last time I remember a woman not running the game. I don't understand this fucking movie. I don't understand where it's coming from. I don't understand the ending. It's a muddy fucking mess. It would have been fixed if all they said was at the end is that she wanted to be a mom. They could have cut out the fucking gynecologist joke then, because it's pretty obvious she's going to need a pussy for that job. We don't need to say it. Just like she didn't need to fucking point it out earlier in the movie. Why do they keep bringing up the fact that these people are genderless? Is because these fucking people are obsessed with genitals. That's why. These are the same fucking people who want you to take your kids to the doctor and cut their fucking shit off. That's what I'm trying to say to people. I was fucking bamboozled too. I saw the trailers. I thought this was going to be a cute, funny fucking movie. I walked out of this going, am I in fucking sane? What the fuck just happened here? And I got a lot of people going, oh, it's PG-13. You should know it's for adults. Fuck that. I've seen how many Transformers, how many fucking MCU movies, how many Ninja Turtle movies in the last fucking 10 years that are PG-13. I don't remember a single one of them having a fucking joke about a gynecologist in them. That's all I got to say.
Well, hello. I'm glad I joined this stream.
Thank you.
I have a question. Who's disagreeing with you? Because
my gosh,
everywhere I look around, I see people basically agreeing with you.
Yeah,
There's a whole panel of women.
Oh, you go on Twitter, you go elsewhere.
I'm seeing both. I'm seeing people like it, people don't like it. I'm seeing both, men and women like it. I mean, Ethan likes it. I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know.
Wait, Ethan liked it?
Ethan liked it. Ethan
That's
thought
what
it
I'm
was,
saying.
Ethan thought it was hilarious parody.
So did Chris. So did
Unfortunately, what
Chrissy Mayer liked it.
Chrissy Mayer liked it too. Yeah.
Cameron Pasha liked it. I mean, there's so many there. I mean, this thing's like Tom said. This thing is going both ways. All of the different people that are in this in our circles.
Mm-hmm.
There's people.
That's what I said.
Like
it's now in our backyard.
Weird thing.
Okay.
Jason's seeing what I'm talking about anyway. At least.
I've seen the reactions. I haven't seen the movie yet, so I don't know. I mean, and then Mindy looks at me today. She's like, I don't know whether I should be interested in this movie or not.
Okay. And my feeling is, because I know you, I'm going to tell you everything I said about it going into it, and everything I said in my review is 100% accurate. And then Tom will tell you that I undersold it. But I have some super chats I have to get to because they've been waiting. And Wookie Be Bad is for $10. Says, Tom, tell us how you feel. Preach, brother, preach. I think he's preached out. In fact, I'm not sure he's still breathing.
I think you missed a super chat. According to
I talked with my grits. Yeah, I'm trying to get back up there. Yeah, look, guys. I'm. It's just me, and now I'm down mods and everything. Oh, here we go. Kiss my grits for $4.99. I love this, by the way. One of my favorite sayings ever. I love that television show. Anyway, for $4.99, Culture would love to get your panel's insight on why Hollywood and Mattel can't figure out how to bring He-Man to the big screen. We'll forget 87. Good, yes. Forget 87. Good choice.
Well, and to be fair, that's
anything about He-Man.
That's one of the reasons I was kind of hoping for this movie, aside from seeing the girls being into it, was I'm like, if this movie's good, then that means that there's a good chance He-Man's going to be fucking good. Because I would love to see a He-Man movie that puts as much attention into the production and the costumes and the casting that this fucking movie did. That would be amazeballs.
Yeah. I think that that hunky kid that now looks like Lou Albano or some shit or whatever. When he goes muscles, what is that kid's name? Like, all the ladies loved him, and now he looks like he's like, I don't know, like wanting to be the Hulk or.
Is that the one from
Zac Efron?
Zac Efron.
Yeah,
I said, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
isn't he like 4'6"?
He's pretty tall, but we got a couple more soups real quick. Of course, Southern Belle sent this one and misspelled the word Prano.
Hi, Arwen.
Then she sent another $2 to fix the spelling on the word Prano. And I'm still going to say the word Prano because there are certain words I don't say on YouTube. So there you go. But thank you, Southern
Are you
Belle.
talking about like prawns? Those giant shrimp
Giant
things?
shrimp things.
Here's a good eat.
Things.
To answer the question, though, about why Hollywood didn't get it, I'll give you one word: accountants.
Yeah.
The Accountant, the only good Ben Affleck film.
Yeah,
I think it was one of the best films I had seen in that period of time. Actually, that year it was one of the greatest films.
It's his best performance because he was mentally challenged, didn't speak much.
Yeah,
it's perfect for him. Perfect role.
It's so poignant that this song has come back all these years later and is now an anthem for war.
Yeah.
I said I don't know if I've ever been good enough. I don't want to get you in trouble.
No, it's fine. But, Tom, that's the thing, man. What they don't realize is they used an anthem that was a song that was written from an ex-girlfriend's perspective about just how much she hated Rob Thomas, who was the boyfriend that she broke up with and did everything she could to abuse him in that relationship. And then, of course, obviously, y'all have made the point that was actually banned on radio stations by feminist groups because they thought it was the reverse.
Even MTV for a while, too.
Yeah, I mean, that's just crazy dumb. So, but tis what it is. Wow, it was bonkers bananas.
I'm sorry for everybody's ears, but like, man, this whole weekend has been nuts with this movie.
But see,
next week I'm supposed to be going to see Ninja Turtles.
Oh, Tom, no.
It doesn't come out till the 2nd, but I have a chance at seeing it early.
Do you want to?
No. But
okay, well, fair enough.
Are you going to see it for free?
No, but it's like pulling a fucking Band-Aid off. It's like, let's just get the shit over with.
Mags, like me, was very put off by this film. And she sends a $5 super chat. Thank you, Mags.
Well, thank you, Mags.
Hey, Mags.
Hugs
nice
Tom.
avatar. I like the new avatar.
Yeah, she updated it. It's really cool. Yeah, it's very cool. Nice. She says, I'm still processing the movie. Also, hi, y'all. Bye, y'all. Well, thank you, dear. Thank you. Man, thank you.
Processing the movie. It sounds like it's got to go through your digestive system. So it's like you've eaten this fatty ground meat that you don't quite know what it is. And your body takes like 2 days to process through all the trash before you poop it out. That's what it sounds like.
It's pretty accurate.
Live in my world. It just look for the beauty in it that you can find. Try to connect with it with your personal experiences, and you know what, when they the total parts that are totally messed up, just kind of fall away and you don't think about them and just go forward.
That's a good attitude.
It makes it so much easier to find the enjoyment. I mean, I'm looking forward to Loki. I know you guys all think I'm crazy.
Tina, you're the most beautiful brain. I'm not kidding.
I was going to say, no, I don't think we'd accept life anymore if you didn't.
I love
it. That's kind of like, what you're saying.
You're capable of some tremendous mental gymnastics and hurdles that none of the rest of us can even possibly.
Well, it's an attitude that Mrs. Flu has. She keeps telling me I need to find the enjoyment and stuff in life and all that.
I'm just teasing.
But I'm saying that even Mrs. Flu has no desire to see this film. None. I asked her, I said, do you want to go see it? She's like, no.
In some ways, I wish I hadn't. I wish I could just remain in blissful ignorance.
This movie wasn't made for me.
Really
wasn't made for me. I didn't go see it. My middle boy went to go see it with his wife and his friends. They got a lot of fun out of it. It was a stupid movie to them.
I'm sorry, I got to ask, did Cyber Chud forget that I was there?
I think so, because he probably
oh yeah. No, I just kept my mouth shut for a while because I'm like, I want to come back, and I don't know who this chick is. So.
I just kept coming back every 5 minutes to see if you had exploded yet.
I was about to a couple times, but I'm like, no, I don't know this individial. And the part that really got to me most, I would say, was when I was like, is this chick really trying to school me on Kubrick? Like I got socks older than her. What the hell?
I'm sending Tom text like, how are you dealing with it right now?
I'm just trying to be a good boy.
You were very good because I'm losing my stuff. I'm sending super chats onto Yellow Flash like, WTF is she talking about? She's got no numbers to back up anything that she's saying. I'm like, holy
cute
cow.
girl, but I have no idea what. Yeah, like, and I'm not surprised she liked the Barbie movie. I mean, she's the demographic for it, especially if you're even open to the idea of still being woke. Like, yeah, this movie will fully pull you back in, and that's what I hate saying it, but it's almost like a recruiting tool. I'm not trying to get too fucking tinfoil hat on this shit, but I'm seeing it happen in real time, and I'm just scared shitless that all the shit we've done in the last few years has just gone out the goddamn window.
Yeah.
Well, they're targeting their natural demographic, but they're also making it palatable to those around the edges of that.
Well,
it'll naturally draw them in if they're open to it. Absolutely, because the message is very much fourth wave freaking feminism.
Well, so it sounds like,
I wish it wasn't, but that's
yeah, I think you're right, though. I think it is truly intersectional feminism, and I think it's so hardcore. People wanted to see satire somewhere where it didn't exist, because there was nothing subtle. There was no the humor wasn't there. It was mean spirited, if anything, through the whole film against males, which is why for a lot of people it turned Ken into kind of a hero in the film. And then she just does what every other.
Sorry for him by the end.
Yeah, I know.
And nothing is really resolved for the Kens either. They're still treated like fucking children.
Well, they're homeless people.
They're basically homeless slaves. I guess. Yeah. I mean, they're getting houses in the background, and they do allow them to be in the Senate, but they're not ready yet to be leaders. Can you imagine? Can you fucking imagine? If they had made a movie where men treated women this way, and this is what pisses me off, is I respect Richard Roper, but he's coming out there going sarcastically going, oh, it's not like they've never had women being treated like bimbos or objects in movies before, like Ken was in the Barbie movie. I'm right with my brothers who are all upset in arms over a movie called Barbie. He's being all sarcastic and jerky about it, but it's like, dude, really?
And
this guy called out Ghostbusters. You know what I mean? But anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Yes, there's a difference between a character, a female character who is portrayed that way, and an entire movie that is aimed at targeting men. Night and day difference.
That's the thing. Even people who love this movie and they try to say it's not so woke, you go, well, name one character that's male and not a buffoon or an asshole. And they can't.
No, and that's why. That's why tonight's.
I like the inventor too. I like
even Alan is still kind of a douche.
He's a doof. Yeah, and here's the thing. The reason that I
gay, right?
Exactly. Yeah, he wants to smoke Ken's pole.
Allegedly.
Real quick, I'm
just pole smoker.
Go ahead, Culture.
Not that there's anything wrong.
You're trying to say something. I'm trying to derail Tom so you can speak.
Good, thanks. Real quick though, the reason I sent everybody the questions early, the questions that I wanted to ask, is because I didn't want you to feel tripped up, because there is no way that you can find anything in this film that's terribly redeeming, because it's all mean-spirited to men, and it's all incredibly one-sided in the end. And you
start to root for Ken because he literally is treated like a fucking slave. Barbie don't give him the time of day. I felt
the Kens were treated like pets. Like when they did something,
or pets, I guess that's fair.
They'd pat them on the head. Oh, good Ken, good for you, Ken. Yay, Ken. Now go away, Ken.
Now I'm intrigued. Now I'm intrigued because Johnny Skinwalker comes in here and says, Tom always does a good rant on Barbie. This is true. But I want to find out what EVS actually said. So I'm going to go in search of it. Apparently, according to Low Spec Linux laptop, it's out there.
Actually, in summary, what he said is that he compared the women not wanting anything to do with Ken, like they didn't want anything to do with their older or younger brothers trying to mess with their Barbies and that kind of stuff. So that was, so he kind of went like me and went a little beyond the story, because I felt like it was fine. We had one, like I said, we had one Ken amongst three girls. We probably had well over a dozen Barbies, and Ken was superfluous for us. He was there for when you dressed up in the bridal outfit and to kiss, and then Ken went away because we didn't have accessories for Ken. And that was okay because
we
were playing with
Ken was an avatar.
We had
That's it.
some.
Ken was an
Ken
avatar.
was the ultimate accessory, is what Ken was. Yes,
Okay,
he was
okay,
very
so,
much an
but
accessory.
He was an
then-
avatar
but then
filling
they
for the
draw-
man.
Important accessory.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's great, but then and again, Tox is probably going to go to the same place I am, and then that in the real world, that's how men are treated now, is accessories.
Well,
This-
and this is
Oh,
where
oh,
I'm
okay,
kind of
I
like
was saying-
confused by EVS. I mean, at first I wanted to think he was trolling, but now here's the thing, because he is the one that pointed out before and so brilliantly how, you know, this whole thing when it comes to the woke is no different than when the boys make a club of their own, and you know, the kid's sister comes in and says, I want to play. And the boys say, no, you can't play. So she goes and whines to her parents. And he compared, you know, the woke people being the sister whining to the parents, and the parents being, you know, those in control who bow to the whim of the woke and saying, no, you have to let your sister come in and play. But he's making that reverse argument here. The difference is boys never wanted to play with their sisters' fucking toys. They never wanted to play with their sisters necessarily. Right? Like, I'm sure there was exceptions to the fucking rule, but for the most part, no boys wanted to go play Barbie. If they were playing with their sister's Barbie, it was because they were fucking destroying them to piss their sisters off, most likely.
Well, okay, so Ethan said it's from the point of view of a girl, so it
Guess
makes
what's
sense.
that? We both have given you the tweet here in the chat, I think. Just bring it
No,
up, man.
I gave
No,
a
it's
second
fine.
one. There's a different one.
It's fine,
Oh, you
but,
do?
but,
Okay.
but this is important to me because I need to ask a question based on this statement.
Mhm.
Do you want men to be accessories and superfluous, ladies?
No, not at all. I want
Tina?
an equal partner.
Okay, so I'm going to say something here. A man is only an accessory and is only going to be treated this way if he allows it. Mrs. Flu does not treat me this way. The women in my life do not
She
treat me this
throws
way.
meat at you, dude.
Agreed.
She throws meat at me. That's fine. That is that is a wonderful joke. I also told her when she did it to go make me a sandwich. Okay.
Yeah.
So I expect when I say that, I'm going to get something back. But
Yeah.
I'm the man in the relationship. She's the woman. And we are equal partners in that. Now, sometimes that equal partnership is 100% me and 0% her. And sometimes
Exactly.
it's 0% me and 100% her.
Well,
And sometimes
Exactly.
I piss her
Yep.
off and sometimes she pisses me off. But I'll
Yep.
tell you this, she's not coming in here and saying, oh, you don't matter or any of that kind of stuff to me because I'll leave.
well, and that's
if you don't have self-respect, this stuff's going to affect you.
Well, that's part of the problem I had with the movie is you could have had a lot of this woke stuff that's in the movie as long as the resolution would have been one where the Kens get, you know, an equal place in Barbie Land.
It's from a child's perspective.
I don't give a shit. A child needs to learn what's right and what's wrong, and especially if you want to treat what's fair and where everybody should have an equal, true equality, right? I would think it would be a stronger message to say, hey, boys and girls, let's get along, you know, and at the end of the day, the movie was about, you know, the Kens getting an equal footing in the Barbie land and Barbie deciding, you know what, I don't have a special quality. I'm not a Dr. Barbie. I'm not President Barbie. I'm not, you know, Aviator Barbie. I'm not any of these things. Maybe I just want to be a mom. You know, that would have really wrapped things up. And it would have been to say to the same people that are like fighting for this woke shit to say, you know what, sometimes it's okay to just want to be a mom. Sometimes it's okay to just want a natural family. Right, because that's another thing I felt like was missing from this movie, and I don't know if you ladies felt this way, but I know some of the girls were talking about it. You know, it's this chick flick thing, and I know you guys were stumbling around. Is it a chick flick? Is it not a chick flick? I say it's not so much in a sense because it's missing one important element that's in almost every single chick flick I can think of, or every chick flick I can think of, and that is at least a romance at the heart of it. There is absolutely no fucking romance in this movie whatsoever. Sure, there's a lot of talk about genitals, but there sure as hell ain't no love or romance in it. And I mean, I know a lot of people who are upset that Barbie and Ken didn't wind up together. Like, to some people, that's like a quintessential couple. But if you're not going to do that, at least like, okay, so part of the idea, okay, have Ken just be too perfect
Tom.
for Barbie and have her meet a real guy in the real world.
Breathe.
Yeah, I know. I'll shut up.
No,
I
it's
will
not
say-
that.
I
You
will
were
say this,
literally
though.
running out of breath.
Yeah.
I will disagree about it being a chick flick because not every chick flick has to have a romance at the center.
Maybe not,
Oh,
but
That
wow.
I just, well, I mean, they
No
just
modern-
don't. There are chick flicks that-
no modern chick flick. Even rom-coms don't have any romance in them anymore.
You know,
Mhm.
so I do
There's no
disagree with
happy
that. But
ending.
what I will say, it is not a traditional chick flick because it is very, very mean spirited.
I'm going to give you. I'll give you an example. Arwen, did you see No Hard Feelings?
No, I did not.
You saved $8 or $10. Good for you. But the film literally had a lot to it, and it could have been great. But you know what they forgot in the rom-com?
The rom?
Yeah, they forgot the rom. They brought a lot of other great things and wonderful ideas to it, including
I will say there is a difference between rom-com and a chick flick. I will grant you that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like when you have a romance that's referred to, like when people refer to romances, Barbie and Ken comes right up after like Romeo and Juliet, for fuck's sake.
I mean, I kind of agree with it, and in the sense, again,
Or Lois and
know
Clark.
it was the
Sorry.
ultimate accessory, but one of the things we used to say is it used to be, instead of Barbie and Ken, it used to be Ken and Barbie. For those of us who played with Ken, now not every little girl did, not all girls did.
Mhm.
Like Tina was saying, they had
I
one
know.
Ken, and he was multi-purpose Ken. You know,
Well, and I've
but
had plenty
I
of
a lot
girls
the
say
other
that
Kens.
That was
I got more
Mormon
into that
Ken, and he
culture.
had multiple wife Barbies.
And I've had many women say to me, you know, like, look, I'd rather have G.I. Joe as a boyfriend. I think you guys even debated that
Yeah,
earlier.
we
in the
talked
stream.
about that. I think I settled on He-Man.
Yeah,
ultimately.
or He-Man or what have you, and you know, and that's the
Arwen
point. Like,
likes some bumply.
and that's the thing is the girls would steal the toys from their brothers to have Barbie marry them. And they're like,
Yes,
fuck
we
you, give me
would.
my He-Man back. You know, like, yeah.
Yes, I stole G.I. Joe many times. And
Well,
but what's funny is my
there's the
brother
age
always
difference
knew
in
where
those
it was
things.
going to end up. He
Mhm.
always knew, damn, if my G.I. Joe's missing, I got to go hunting Arwen's Barbies because I know that's where I'm going to find him in her dream house.
Mhm.
See, my poor brother, because he was 4 years younger than my youngest sister, so he played Barbies with us, but he brought his G.I. Joe guys. So then
Yeah.
all of a
Mhm.
sudden we had more than just that one Ken, because, you
Yeah.
know, I mean,
That makes sense.
nobody asked for Ken for Christmas or for their birthday. So we only had one Ken, and my mom said, y'all better freaking get along or you're not playing with anything. So it was like, okay, Ken's done. He's gone on the top shelf, and now we're gonna play Barbies. But
I
so it
bet
was
your brother
wonderful.
had an insight to women and how they work that other boys his age had no
Mhm.
clue.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I
Yeah,
mean,
he was slaying it in the dating scene for sure.
Well, I'm not
Well, he
saying that.
definitely was.
I'm
He
saying he
definitely
probably
was.
you're okay. So he was. See, he learned stuff from there, and what he was doing is he was going all the girls his age and around that were there, and he was going crazy, 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 possibility, crazy, crazy. Oh hell no, possibility. That's what he was doing.
Hey,
Because
He
he's
was
like,
forming
oh,
that tick mark system.
it was-
that
He's
I
not
did.
wrong. Tox is not wrong.
Dung, dung. Yeah,
Because I
learn
had
from there.
cousins and shit, and we got forced to have to play. And of course, my cousins would overpower me, and they would get win and play Barbie. But like, yeah, I would always bring in G.I. Joe or He-Man or somebody like that to the equation. But oh yeah, like the times that I would as I was getting a little older, you know, at 1st as a boy, you know, it's girls yuck, and then you start to realize, oh well, they get a little bit better as they're older. But like, I want to learn a few things, and you're right, Tox. Like, yeah, you know, we start looking up the skirts and all that kind of shit, and realize there ain't nothing there.
Speaking of that, nothing there. Southern Belle for seven.
Hey, Southern Belle. What are you saying that about Southern Belle?
No,
See-
it's super chat. Listen, I'm going to tell you why.
So Southern Belle,
My-
77777.
It's quadruple sevens, but it's fine.
Quadruple 7.
My brother took a butter knife to my sister's baby doll.
Yep.
See, that was the segue that you screwed up. Anyway, it's fine.
Who, me?
Boys have been destroying girls'
Oh,
toys
yeah.
for millennium. I mean, I had three older brothers. I get it.
And made the other dolls wrestle. I think we all wrestled the action figures.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I like before there was WWF wrestling figures, you know. I think we used our like GI Joes and stuff to do wrestle.
Well, and I'm sure most women realize pretty early on that, yeah, when we're boys, we just want to be left alone, and when we're teenagers, we want to get you alone, right? Like that's just the way it works. It's just
I still want to be left alone.
Tom Googled that one. Laugh at it.
You know, it's
No,
funny.
actually,
The
I
only
made that up
toys,
myself, but thank
the
you.
only
Yeah,
toys
it's a
I
Tom
remember
original.
actually sharing with my brother, that I had my set and he had his set, but we'd get together, and he's almost 4 years older than me. He'd get together.
Is that just me?
No, it's her.
No.
Oh, she went into the
Arwen's-
void. She'll be back.
Arwen's in the void. No, come back.
Come back to the light.
But
Apparently,
we played He-Man with my brother because there were enough characters that we could all share, and we also played more like traditional Super Friend type things with my brother. So I mean, it wasn't like he was this tortured Barbie obsessed young man, but
well, it talks about partnership, 150 and all that, and as we get older, there's that we're going to torture the Barbie dolls when we're kids, and we get older, and now we want to have something to do with women, when people of the opposite sex or whatever, and whoever we're interested in, whatever, however, whatever, anything, and then eventually you find that person that completes you, and there's that whole thing, and just from what I'm hearing, this movie doesn't give that as an option. It doesn't sound like there's any kind of Barbie and Ken complete each other, let's happily ever after into the sunset. So
fair, Barbie and Ken can't really complete each other in real life anyway.
Well, there's scissoring, but anyway, Dearest for $5 says an arc for Barbie would have finally seen Ken as a person who cares about her, and she took him for granted. Yes, it's why
she kind of does, but it's really kind of done quickly and swept under the rug. Now we can.
Thank you. I'm sorry about that.
Welcome back.
That's all right.
Did
your brother come in and gouge your internet out with a knife?
Like, she's not going to talk about that shit.
Yeah. What you did to my G.I. Joes? I'm still crying in my pillow every night.
Yeah, the only thing we played together was Star Wars, the little Star Wars figures. Other than that, he had his land, I had mine. We did not share our
I'm gonna
toys.
say this. My sister was 5.5 years younger. Well, still is. She's still alive. 5.5 years younger than I am. We had all the Star Wars stuff. We played those things. That's what we played together. She is the biggest Star Wars, and I would put her Star Wars knowledge up against anyone in the fandom. She has 3 Christmas trees. 2 of them have nothing but Star Wars ornaments on them. She's read all the books, all that stuff. Wow. And she says because we played together and had good times doing that together, right? That's what got her interested in those things. So,
That's because Star Wars is more inclusive.
In the end, it's the person.
Infinitely so.
My sister and I, we'd go, when we went to go visit family, my cousin was a couple of years older than us, and we had all the Star Wars stuff. And my sister would always get put out because she had to be Princess Leia. She's like, why don't I always have to play? Because you're the girl. There was the expectation there that, the guys do these characters, and you get Princess Leia, you get Lieutenant Uhura.
Oh, my sister was Darth Vader. She went right to Darth Vader. I am Darth Vader. I'm doing all this stuff. She's you play those rebels. I am Darth Vader and all these things because he's powerful.
That goes right to my point, though. Is like most of the boys' properties outside of, even G.I. Joe later on, but not maybe when it first came out, but eventually became very inclusive. So it was easy to allow, other people to come in. Barbie, on the other hand, is not so inclusive. Like boys, it's not something they want. Most girls' properties are not very inclusive. Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
It is unapologetically a little girl's
which
toy.
is
not
fine.
The little boys can't play with it. Yeah, it's,
and that's why Disney. That's why Disney bought Marvel. They had the Disney Princess thing, and the Disney Princess thing is all for the girls. So we got to go buy Marvel and we got to go buy Star Wars so we can get the boys. And then what do? They feminize both of them and ruin everything.
And speaking of boys and girls,
I've never heard little boys cry, or I've never heard grown men. I've never heard grown men who are adults now cry in anguish that Barbie wasn't marketed for them. Boys just don't care about Barbie for the most part.
Well, and going to the difference between boys and girls, and going off of what Darius was saying and what we were saying before, is this where I think the movie has its the foundation for it, but doesn't finish it, and that's with the children thing, right? Because when she's on in the real world, she notices there's children and all the other differences that are there, animals and other things that she doesn't have in Barbie Land. Like if she just decided to want to be a mom, that would have kind of really helped along. Also, given the Kens a purpose. You know, because some of them would probably want to be parents. And also, if you share this culture, because they also make this character out to be a fucking joke, because she's the only pregnant person in Barbie world, and they keep making the joke that she was discontinued, so she's still pregnant, right? So there's no children in Barbie world at all.
No,
like
But there is a pooping dog.
But to me, that's saying is the only way a woman can be successful is if she doesn't have children, right? And I get it. A lot of women are like, "Oh, you're just over." Like, no, I'm like, maybe
that was the whole message of second or third wave feminism, right? You got to be successful. You got to get out in the corporate world and make your own name.
Ask Southern Belle about that. Southern Belle knows. She said it on some of our live streams when we're in Comics Division stuff. She brought that. I can't be successful if I don't have, without, if I have a family and all that stuff. She bought that, and she knows it's full BS. And it's unfortunate. You've got a lot of women who were girls that thought, okay, I have to be successful, do all that stuff and things. And it's not.
I don't know.
If you're a strong person inside, it's not going to matter.
Camille Paglia has made
Yeah.
the point, and she talked to Hannity about this, but she's written about this.
Polly Pockets, yeah.
And she's a big feminist. And she said third wave feminism has done more damage and more harm to the feminist movement as a whole than anything else. I mean, she is very outspoken against third wave feminism because of all of the damage that it's done. And a lot of it's psychological.
Mm-hmm.
Well, third wave feminism is in a nutshell basically taking that perceived patriarchy and turning it into a feminine twist and directing it towards men.
Right.
You've got fourth wave feminism now that includes all the modern day woke BS in that nasty stew.
And that's what Barbie.
And you're
the
gonna
movie
have
is.
very angry, hateful, bitter people.
But it's
Women.
all hateful. Real quick, I need to get to some more super chats, guys. Just a sec. We'll get back to it. We got horseradish power for £2 sterling. That's proper money, ladies and gentlemen. Barbie film just strengthened the MGTOW argument. Probably. Unfortunately.
What is that?
I hope I'm
MGTOW?
wrong. That's men going their own way. And that's the thing. I hope I'm wrong, but that's where I keep predicting that this might be a problem. Like, we were on a really clear sail towards getting out of this shit.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't believe, like I said, we kind of sacrificed Mission Impossible to the fucking woke gods just to be like, look, we've had enough. This needs to kill Hollywood. And this happens.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Mission Impossible was a 6 out of 10 film.
Well, at the end of the day, though, Tox, it wasn't woke, but it didn't matter. Because
no,
we had it was sending a message to Hollywood. We had enough of this bloated bullshit.
Well, Mission Impossible's problem was that it gave away everything in the film and the trailers.
That too.
There was
no,
I went to that film and there was no reason for me to pay any money to go see it because I saw it all in the trailers.
At the end of the day, though, my whole point of us sacrificing it in quotations is what I'm getting at is that there was nothing really wrong with the film. It's just a movie that should have done well, but we sacrificed it because at that moment that was sending a clear fucking message to Hollywood that we have just had enough. Like the audience
and sequels and franchises and IP and all that other stuff.
And that's what I kept trying to tell people. Sound of Freedom is pretty much outpacing Mission Impossible is what I kept trying to tell people. And most people said, "Oh, you're crazy," or called me, stupid or insane. Except for like Culture and a few other people who kind of saw in the numbers what I was talking about. And here we are
Impossible
now.
Definitely hit a wall.
And as I said, here we are now where they don't even know. They don't even know which one's third place right now because the fucking movies are so neck and neck. But it's bullshit because really the clear winner is Sound of Freedom because Mission Impossible has how many more fucking screens? And again, it's nothing against Mission Impossible.
Oppenheimer was never going to be this giant thing. And it was going to be either Oppenheimer was going to be this rush, which it was never going to be, or Barbie was just going to be something was going to sell out.
I think Oppenheimer is going to last longer than Barbie does.
Yeah.
I think it's going to have legs because the word of mouth has all been mostly positive, and people are except for the people
did not like it.
There aren't any Japanese in it, which is a dumb complaint. But I think it's a brilliant movie. I enjoyed it. It makes you come away from that thinking. And that's not something that movies do a lot of these days.
Right.
So.
Well, no, I mean, The Sound of Freedom just did that. You get another thinking movie in a row. That's a surprise, right, Jason?
It is, especially one with this size. This big.
It's just there's not a whole lot to think about.
There's precedent for it in history.
Real quick,
I mean, what? The Japanese did a sucker punch to the United
Although
States?
I don't
I meant for the type of
understand.
movies we consume, but yeah,
the
sorry.
movies.
Oh, yeah.
Real quick, we got another $2 super chat from our buddy Joe at Joe's Atmosphere. Joe's killing it lately. Yeah, his channel's coming together, guys. Check it out.
He's killing people?
No,
no wonder his channel's taken
Gee
off.
whiz, Joe. Wow.
He's infamous.
The
Poor
Atmosphere
culture.
family.
Poor culture.
Thoughts
What
on
did you
weird?
say?
Thoughts
on Weird Barbie? I didn't hate the character. Actually, that's what this movie should have been more of.
Yep.
I actually liked that's where they're the only place where I can agree with where there's any satire is that first 20 minutes of the movie or whatever when we're in Barbie world. I love the rules.
Is that
I
Kate
love
McKinnon's character?
Yeah, I love the established rules. I love that every Barbie's kind of represented. Even I knew who some of these Barbies were, being a guy. Like, to me, the idea of that weird Barbie made me laugh because, you know, I was probably one of the guys who made one of those weird Barbies happen at one point in my life.
Oh, we made our own weird Barbies.
Women did too. I know, but
several
yeah.
weird Barbies. So
but how many were
absolutely
started
that
by
was
a brother
legit.
though, or whatever? Yeah.
Yeah, that happened once, and I tattled.
Exactly.
When you say brother,
But after
you're
that, I
meaning,
started doing it. It inspired me in its own way.
I thought we were going colored.
But no, that's what this movie should have been more about, is just kind of playing with that world. And honestly, if they would just extended that first 20 minutes into an entire film and just kind of had it been this whole like really cute, I almost have to say it almost has to be sanitized thing. Like it almost has to be overly sweet and cute, like a Saturday morning cartoon we just saw when we were kids, basically. And then that would have been the movie I've been like, okay, yes, take your 8-year-olds to this movie. She's gonna love it. Trust us. It's a great fucking movie. That's what I would rather have had right now, is that kind of a conversation where the movie's doing well, but we can also tell parents, yes, we finally have something we can recommend. You know, you can take your kids to this. There's not a bunch of politics in it. It's just a sweet, cute little movie for kids, blah, 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 but not.
And that would be great. But see, I've recommended a few films here that other people on the stream have poo-pooed that are they're very fun films. And they're not full of
Which
a lot
ones?
of these messaging garbage. Well, John Wick 4, Mission Impossible 7, which just got wrecked by several of us on the panel. And, you know, and it's fine. I mean, you don't have to.
Okay. Pointing out that everything in Mission Impossible 7 was in the trailers is not wrecking it. That didn't wreck the movie. Their marketing department wrecked the movie.
Oh, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
Well, I think I said it
the
had
film
more
itself,
to do
I
with,
think it's one of those first time through. If you haven't seen anything about it, those people enjoyed it. People like me that were trolling for thumbnail pictures and saw those trailers 5,000 times. I went into the movie. I'm like, I've seen this. I was next to Mrs. Flew and I said, would you please just do the jump?
To your point,
no more
Tots,
10 minutes.
The audience is starting to feel that way too. Not so much that they've seen the trailers, but they've seen this. This is Mission Impossible fucking 7, right? How many 7th films in a franchise do that well? Like they usually hit their peak somewhere between the 3rd, 4th, and 5th film. Look at all of them. Transformers, Fast, Furious,
Look at
every last
Fast
one
and
of
Furious.
them.
Yeah,
Marvel,
did nothing.
all of them.
Let me ask you this though. This is kind of an unusual circumstance because we've got this movie and the next one dealing with this super AI. And now what is everybody talking about with regard to the strikes? Is AI writers, AI actors? You know, I got scanned and they don't have my consent.
You're not wrong.
So I think there's going to be a confluence here. I think Mission Impossible is going to have legs because of that, because people are going to be talking about it because they're talking about it in other circles.
Can I make a prediction? The first one's not going to have the legs. The second one might do better. Here's why I say that. Because we're at this dam right now. And that's where I was saying we were doing good and we sacrificed this first Mission Impossible movie. Like, we're getting that second one no matter what. It's done.
It's already
so my point is this movie could still flop. We could sacrifice it. And then when the next one comes out in 6 months, a year from now, whatever it is, we could be ready for another Mission Impossible movie. And because enough people have seen it on video on demand and shit by then, they will go see part 2.
Yep.
But that's the other thing is I think people are used to not having to wait so long to see movies now that they're just like, I'm just going to pass on these big things. I can just go watch it at home.
Okay. All right. ASMR culture here. So one of the interesting things that I've found is that there's a weird bunch of number stuff happening with the Barbie movie. And while the question on the screen is about Barbie toy sales? Will it boost them? I'm more interested in the fact that we're already seeing this film decrease in value at the box office. So, from our preview, which actually is a compilation of 2 days, you have $22.3 million. When you add in the first official day, it's $70 million, which means that the film actually only earned $48 million on the Friday. It generated just slightly less, even though it says 32% there, on the Saturday, keeping even. And then it fell off 25% to $36.1 million. What does that tell me? It tells me that this film is headed for a very steep decline, and there's not a lot of rewatchability, because I doubt even people who enjoyed it will go see this film again.
Yep.
Since this film is front loaded with 70% plus women are not a demographic that sees same film repeatedly in the theater. So my estimation is this film will fall off a cliff. Do you guys agree?
I do. I
We
think
don't
it'll
go
probably
see films
drop 50 to
repeatedly.
60% week to week.
I don't agree with that statement about we don't go repeatedly to see things in the film. If we like it, we will. But this
Right.
one, I don't see it happening with this one.
I don't know. The
I'm
only
not going to
reason
go see MI7 again.
I'm not
Ever.
so sure, because this next weekend there is no competition outside of TMNT previews, and as I just said, there's no real competition.
But the movies is not a destination for people anymore. That's your problem. You mentioned that, Tom. People are saying, "Okay, I'm not going to do this, and I'm going to go to."
The difference is this is a movie that's bringing in the, like Culture was saying, the demographic that the other demographic. Normally we talk about that 45 to 55 demographic that doesn't go to movies anymore.
Mm-hmm.
This is bringing in that other demographic that doesn't go to movies, and that is the Zoomers and the millennials too, and their mothers. Like, that's the thing. It was wall-to-wall pink at the theaters this weekend. I get it did go down a little bit this weekend as well. I hope it falls off a fucking cliff. I just don't know. I'm not so sure it's going to happen, though. Because there's going to be a lot of stragglers who were curious from the first weekend who didn't go see it.
What about this? Because people are saying in the chat, they're mentioning Haunted Mansion. That's a family demographic.
Again, there's no real competition coming out next weekend, Jason.
But also,
Well, I mean, it is
you
a family
have-
movie, though.
But at some point,
True.
Mission Impossible gets the IMAX screens back.
Considering how, well, here's the thing. I would agree with you, Jason, but I don't know now that Oppenheimer kind of overperformed. They might let Oppenheimer keep the bigger screens.
Yeah.
Because that's what Culture and I were talking about on Tuesdays. We were like I said, the last chance Mission Impossible has right now is Oppenheimer underperforms and Mission Impossible does decent this second weekend, so that the theaters pressure the studios into allowing them to bring MI back into the IMAX screens. And I don't think that's going to happen now.
Yeah, and neither do I. But I looked at these box office numbers, and they're still an interesting look, because I then slapped it into a measuring stick, right? And we need to be honest, okay? When we compare two films, we have to compare like for likes, what their performances are, what their likelihood is to leg out, et cetera, et cetera. This film, Barbie, has to have right around a 3 or 3.2 legs. I don't think it has it, right? And I think other people would agree. But we have to remember, Super Mario Brothers started showing on a Tuesday. Well, guess what else started showing early? I mean, technically, I guess it was a Wednesday for Mario Brothers, but guess what else started showing early? This film. Because a lot of people saw this film at a Tuesday sneak or a Wednesday early preview. And it came out, and the only thing to compare it with is the other billion-dollar film this year, Super Mario Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the numbers, Barbie performed rather well, $70 million in its first Friday to $54 million in Super Mario Brothers' first day. What's interesting is these numbers aren't exactly like for like. This first Friday includes preview numbers. This first day here does not. It just has the Friday somehow. And so as I started to go through these numbers, and I found that Barbie was at 155 on through Sunday, and we still had Super Mario Brothers through 204. It's not on pace to beat Super Mario Brothers. It just isn't. So as we can continue to go, first Monday was at 224. Is this film going to make $20 million on its first Monday?
No.
No. And so when I start to look at this and I'm evaluating it, well, by the time we get to the following weekend, so let's go to the second Friday, this film was still making $22 million. Do we think that Barbie is going to make $22 million in its second Friday?
I don't want to say it won't. This is the one time I'm not going to, because like Arwen is not totally wrong that women don't go see movies, but Culture's more right that they generally don't go to repetitive features, and they usually watch things multiple times on streaming or video and not in theaters. That's kind of the...
And to be fair, yes, it would depend on the movie. Yes,
Yeah.
I will say this: a lot of movies like rom-coms and like, what we wanted Barbie to be, to a degree, or a more serious take on the movie. But the thing is, movies like that, yes, we will usually go once, and if we love it, then damn it, we'll get the DVD. Or we'll,
let's just say, like,
we'll
there's
stream it.
exceptions
So that
to the
is
rule,
fair.
but
That is fair. I see what y'all.
There's exceptions to the rule. Like even Six
Yeah.
is somebody I know who goes to a lot of movies more often than a lot of women that I know, and she goes multiple times. But that's an exception.
Exactly.
But in general,
I
usually
agree with
women consume more television as opposed to movies, where men are generally the ones who consume more movies.
And Johnny Johnny Skinwalker makes a point and says Barbie opened to less than Thor: Love and Thunder, which still didn't make a profit. And it right now, in the idea that this film could make a profit, Barbie, is revolving around the idea.
I think
that
it cost half as much though as Love and Thunder.
So what I'm trying to say is,
sorry.
Okay, here we go. One more time. The film itself did not cost the $100 million that it's being reported on numbers. It actually cost closer to $150 million. 148 to be precise. So then you have a monstrous marketing budget, the likes of which we have not seen since Wakanda Forever. And so this film is going
Warner
to
shot the wad on this,
yeah. This film is going to need to make monstrous amounts of money before it makes a profit. So if it falls off a cliff in its second weekend, which I strongly suspect that it will, well,
and here's where women's properties, or I should say most of the time, little girls' properties, tend to make their money more so on video. That's where Disney, in the past, had just as much success, or sometimes more success, in the home video sales department than they ever did.
That's where modern Barbie has thrived.
In other ways,
Barbie has thrived in the animated video.
Hey, Culture.
There's
Before we get moving,
tons of them, and they're all good.
Tina needs to go.
Yeah, we need to let Tina out the door.
Oh shit! Sorry,
Tina. I want to say thank you. Your wonderful wisdom, your incredible thoughtfulness, and your ability to overlook anything that's bad ever is truly astounding. So thank you for being
She's
here.
a Cubs fan. She's been.
Oh, that's true.
She's been conditioned to do that.
Yes, I've grown up on
disappointment.
Disappointed. Yes.
Okay.
Finding the silver lining in any cloud is a Cubs fan's.
That's right. And because she won't promote herself, I'll promote her. She shows up on a lot of different streams, including for some reason over on Sporking News podcast channel, where she basically is, the most interesting thing there because Scott's not there.
Sox fan.
Yeah, well, we won't get into that. But go ahead, Tina, promote what you want. I tried to help.
Oh, you're very sweet. Well, I do spend most of my time on Sporky News podcast on Monday, Wednesday, and sometimes on Saturdays. And when I'm not there, I hang out with the lovely gentleman on Vinny Tartamella's channel on Friday nights and Sunday nights.
Comic guys. So, I love those guys.
Oh,
you guys are doing the Monday show again?
Yes, we've done 2 shows in a row, and rumor has it we're still doing one tomorrow night. So please come check us out. We're trying to get hyped for House of the Dragon season 2, and we do every once in a while talk about the winds of winter and whether or not. Yeah, it's coming. It's coming soon. I'm sure it will. Yeah. Anyway, but. And if you do want to follow me and find out where I'm causing trouble next, you can find me at Tina Bojan on Twitter, or now called X. I'm also at Tina Bojan on YouTube, rumor has it when I hit 50 subscribers, I need to make a video. It's some kind of unwritten rule somewhere, and I'm currently at 45. So
You're very close. I almost
I don't know.
like pushed the subscribe button today, but then I thought the world can't take that many bad takes.
exactly. You got to be
Boy.
careful.
Oof. Tina, thanks for being here. Don't mind that knife in your back on the way out.
Love you
I
all.
love her,
Have
and
a
she knows
beautiful
it. She
week.
knows
Good
how
to
much I
care.
love
see
her.
you, Tina.
Bye, Tina.
Love you,
Bye-bye.
kid.
Bye, Tina.
She's so great. We are so blessed with amazing, lovely humans. It's phenomenal. And you know what? Now my OCD says I have to move Jason up there because R1 went off camera.
Mhm.
All right. So, okay.
And you know what I do want to say? That women do tend to binge watch things on Netflix and Amazon and things, stuff like that, because they're doing all the cooking and cleaning. And
Completely. I'm
Need to-
guilty.
I mean, how else is she gonna watch this stuff while making me a sandwich?
I
That's what I
binge
wanna-
watched the entire Last Kingdom in like a week and a
Holy
half.
crap.
She Mrs. Flu watches FBI and all these things. Oh, the what's the one? The CSI, NCIS. Oh, she'll rewatch that stuff. So I think women do rewatch stuff. It's just different things.
Greetings from Ukraine. Holy cow. Wow.
Oh, Dima.
Dima is here. Greetings. Thanks for joining us. My goodness. Yeah.
You know what's funny is Mrs. Flu before this show did make me a bologna sandwich.
Oh, very good. Mr. Grant Gregory will see us tomorrow. He is still probably trying to figure out whether or not he should post any of the videos I made, I would imagine.
Don't do it. Don't do it, Grant.
Yeah, I got 4 of them, 2 for tomorrow and 2 for Tuesday. Already done. I got 4 more coming. But General Vague, who has been a member for 2 months now, says empowered yet victims all at the same time. Yeah, that's kind of it's kind of what's happening. Can't deny that. We got another super chat I wanted to grab really quickly from Horseradish Power for £2 sterling, proper money, ladies and gentlemen. Says Barbie makes $850 million, and I'm done with women.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
more for me.
Yeah. This
Well,
is what I'm
all
saying.
right. I mean,
They're probably
This is
done
what
with
I'm
us. If
saying.
that's the case. I'm just.
we'll be done with ourselves.
Like
it could make 850 million. It could.
It might. And
I'm saying
Anything
it.
is possible. Look, probable. No.
If that
but
happens,
possible,
we
sure.
are fucked.
Why
We are
not?
so fucked.
Well, I thought Mission Impossible, even though I did not 100% like the film, I thought it was going to make more than it's going to make. I think it's stuck. It's maybe 450 that movie's going to make, but I just don't see it being the 600, 700 million that I thought it was originally.
Because it's pretty clear, Tox. The audience that would normally be going to see Mission Impossible is going to see Sound of Freedom.
Right. Sound of Freedom.
And if I had to choose, I would choose.
And
Sound
part of
of
it's
Freedom
going to
every time.
Barbie because that's the other thing I think people are forgetting that a lot of women like Tom Cruise. So a lot of that audience has been,
And it's not
either
like
went and seen it
Oppenheimer's
or-
doing a bad amount.
No, it's
for-
doing pretty well. It's overperforming for what they expected. So I mean,
Yeah. I'm sure it's not opening in Japan or anywhere around there. But
I'm just not so
I'm not
sure
being- yeah.
what this movie that people are thinking it is with Barbie, and I'm getting to this point where it's become such a divisive film now, and I don't. And that's the
Okay,
sad
look.
part is a lot of the people that are divided on it are trying to either disregard others' opinions on it by saying they're overreacting. I've seen even more of it now in just the last few minutes on Twitter, or just ignoring it. It's like both are horrible things because, like I said, this just reminds me of right back where we started from again. Because that means most of the women have bought into this garbage.
I
We're
will
fucked.
find it interesting, though, that there is a section of the film that, yes, it has upset both men and women, but I have found personally the majority of the people that I have seen upset about this portion have been the men, the most vocal, the most, outspoken. And it's that beginning part with the girls with their little baby dolls. I've seen mostly men come out against that and say, nope. And I've seen some women, Lorena, I believe, is one of them. But then there's other women like Kara and I where we didn't see what y'all saw. We didn't see that as a destruction of, a dig against motherhood and the destruction of
Well,
little
and
girls
some
wanting to be
people-
mothers. What we saw, or at least what I saw, I never got into baby dolls as a kid, ever. in a million years. I didn't want them, didn't care about them. They weren't my thing. Barbie was my thing. So that scene to me was like my liberation as a little girl. Finally, a doll that I can jive with and I could play with. That's mine. That's the way a lot of women took that scene. But I do find it interesting. It's more men that have a problem with that scene than women.
And I think that's playing into the narrative of the other.
I was just gonna say the best way I think I can explain it is there's a lot of women making the excuse that, well, we already have the mother-daughter story in there, so that is a good positive story, so that counters that. Which, okay, that's fine. But the other side of that could be, well, if you just didn't have that mother-daughter story to begin with, then the scene would be fine. Because the fact that you bring Barbie to the real world adds the fact that, because that's the other problem, is the real world is not reflective of what the real world is. The real world is what these fucking woke fucks in Hollywood think the real world is. Like, literally every man is a fucking pervert, and literally nothing is being run by women in the real world. It's all men.
Well, they're all.
I think that the reaction that
in the real world.
Yeah, I think the reaction that people are having to it, men especially, is playing into the hands of the people that wrote this film and wanted it to be what this is. So you're able to say, yep, here, look. Men are saying that this is a problem because they can't understand women that aren't in the stereotypical oppressive stereotype. You know, that men can't understand that. So if you're railing against this, that's because you want your women to be barefoot pregnant in the kitchen, right? So they win if you are against it. If you don't go to the movie as a man, they say, well, you can't stand it. You can't stand a movie where there's a woman, women are in charge of everything and all that kind of stuff. So the best thing that you can do to this film is ignore it. But we're not going to be able to. No. Because all of the, well, you're making too much content and getting a lot of views out of it. Right. I mean, Comics has not done a review on this. I put up 3 polls in his community tab that have gotten close to 1,000 hits each because this movie was meant to be divisive. They did a great aggressive marketing campaign, whether it's deceptive or not. I'm not going to get into that crap, but it was a campaign that got people into it, and it was made for a certain aspect, a certain demographic that they knew they weren't going to get too many things outside of that. But the marketing campaign drug people like Arwen and Mags and stuff into that. And was that underhanded?
Me.
Yeah. I thought this movie had a chance if they could make it cute and just crazy, you know, offhand crazy, over the top kind of stuff, like the enjoyment that I got out of the XXX movies and the early on Fast and Furious, where they drove a freaking car in space. Okay. None of that is real. That movie was not a great movie. It should not have been given any Oscars or anything at all, but they drove a car in space, you know?
Well,
so that's the thing. I thought you do something like that with this film. Don't do any of this kind of messaging. Yeah, Barbie can be strong. All right. But I think there's a little bit of tinfoil hat going on in this because we're just so used to getting hammered over the head. But I also think that there's a lot of this stuff. I think there's a lot of this stuff in it. No, I'm not. I am not going to watch this film.
You may be correct. Some people may be on it, and some of it may be tinfoil hat because we're humans. But I'll tell you why. You say ignore it. We can't do that, and I'll tell you why. Because we love what we do. This is what we do. We look at pop culture that has influenced our lives, that has been the background and the tapestry of our growing up or our teenage years or our adulthood. And here we are now as adults that have the autonomy and the intelligence, and I would hope the maturity to talk about these things. It's because it's what we love to do. So that's not really an option.
But just be careful that you're not playing into the hands.
And I get you what you're saying, Tox, but just going off of your last part, though, about the whole conspiracy theory thing. Here's my problem with this. And I think culture will fully understand what I'm getting at here. This is the equivalent of somebody showing you a flashcard that has a kitty on it. And then they take it away and they say 5 minutes later, what did that flashcard have on it? And you're like, it was a kitty. Like, no, it was a chicken. You're wrong. And they will not show you that card because they know that then they'll prove you're right. But they're going to try and convince you 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 that nope, it was a fucking cock on that son of a bitchin' card. Because at the end of this movie, the end of the movie is equity. It is all about equity. It's not equality, it's equity. Because that's the thing, is this movie could have been a cute, fun movie about the battle of the sexes at the end of the day.
Yes.
And it wasn't, because at the end of the movie, instead of the Kens getting equal ground with the Barbies, which would have been equality, no. They get a smidge. They get a little pinch. They literally, no, I'm saying, they go, but we can't allow you guys to lead yet, so we'll let you have a seat in the Senate, and that's it.
Let me get this out. That's not the part that I'm saying is a little bit tinfoil hat. Not at all. Okay? Because, and I'm talking about playing into the hands of the people who have masterfully done this marketing, right? So saying that, oh, and the colors behind, this is blue, this is pink, that kind of stuff. They're going to use that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And maybe it's true. The stuff at the end, so the argument that you make, which is, I believe, 100% true of how things happen at the end, is going to be overridden by, they're going to say, well, this person saw that they're just colors. It's just pink and blue, right? That's what I think is a little bit of that, because it is upsetting. People that I trust that have watched this movie, and Tom, you were one of them, and Culture's another, and so is Arwen, and so is Mags, and so is Six, have seen this film and were physically hurt by it. All right? Not just, I saw the deflate. I felt the deflate. I trust that. And if we're going to, this is a body blow, all right, to go to, in this whole, here we are fighting this culture war thing. It was a body blow here. This hurts. And you've got to recover from that. And you recover from that by being smart, by avoiding the haymaker that's coming. And that's what I'm saying here. When we talk about this movie, stick to what is in there, right? And what is blatant and provable, and don't give them any ammunition to come back at us with.
And we haven't, man.
Yeah.
That's what I've been trying to say, dude, is culture.
Yeah.
Culture undersold the shit out of how bad this movie is. And that's where I can't believe. And that's where I'm saying this is one of the most blatant things I've ever seen in my fucking life. And I can't believe some of the most smartest people I know are just going, you're overreacting, and I like this and I like that. So basically I'm going to overlook all this other stuff.
And I'm not saying you're overreacting. I want to make that clear. I'm
and
not
that's
saying
where
you're
I was saying
overreacting.
earlier, like, I feel like this could be something that sets us all the way back to ground zero, takes us all the way back to Ghostbusters 2016.
I don't think it will, because I think
fucking hope not.
No, I know it's weird to have faith in a certain, lean, but just the reception
Culture
of this
believes the women's.
Yeah, I do. I walked out of the theater full of people who just a couple of hours before were super excited. They were getting liquored up and fed and the whole 9 yards at this party thing I went to, right? And they were all into it. And then on the way out, it was dejection. I can't use that word. It's the one I want to use, but it was very deflated. It was very muted. It was a muted exit from a theater. Now, mind you, I had just a week before exited the theater from Mission Impossible 7 with a giant smile on my face. Everybody that came out of the film, the people I went with, had a smile on their face. Completely different exit velocity, right? And then, compare that also to the fact that people were clapping at the end of Sound of Freedom. Okay, so I saw 3 movies in a tiny little window of time, and the one that brought people down to the ground wasn't Sound of Freedom, wasn't Mission Impossible, it was this Barbie movie, walking out.
Yeah, and because the thing that was so frustrating to so many of us is not just that it was a crap movie and that crapped all over men, because it did, and the message is there. They're not hiding it. They're just wrapping it in this beautiful shade of pink. But the thing that kills me, and a lot of us, are those rare, beautiful moments that are actually in this movie. What I wanted it to start out with the campy Barbie world with all the sunshine and the light and the hey Barbie. And then those moments of emotion when Barbie starts going on her journey and questioning mortality and all this stuff. I wanted them to dig deeper. I wanted them to end up with this beautiful story. They never went there. These beautiful moments that are in there, and there's no denying they're very, very powerful. You know, like I said before, they're diamonds thrown in a swamp. The swamp overtakes them. All the other crap. Yeah. And that is so frustrating because the nostalgia is there.
Well,
it is there.
Well, they could have made a really good Indiana Jones movie. Elements were there. They could have done something.
Yes.
Tom has had 2 rants about that had way better stories, all right, than anything that we got. They could have done that. They didn't. They could have made a great movie out of this. They could have made it for people, and they didn't. You know why?
That's why we're
because they have incompetent people.
Okay,
doing this, just like Witcher 3.
There's somebody I respect very much. Demonized is mentioning EVS is streaming right now. Defending Barbie is one of the best movies of the year. Send him the link. I would love to have a deep, in-depth conversation.
All I can say to EVS is what I said earlier, and that was you were the dude I just heard giving that great, analogy about boys clubs and girls, the sisters and all the woke business. That was like a year or 2 ago. He did that. And now he's saying this about Barbie, which to me is like the antithesis. To me, it's like, it's not the same thing. Girls wanting to be in the boys club is one thing. Boys never wanted to be in the girls club. That was a different thing altogether. Usually, unless they were gay.
And again, having my own reaction to this comment is this. I would love to talk to EVS about this, but we're on the cusp of wrapping up our stream, and it would take a long time, and I wouldn't want to pull him out of his live stream. EVS does some of the best live streams on the planet.
I don't think he would either, and I mean, it just is what it is. I mean,
yeah, and again, I mean, Uncle Ethan,
unless he's saying it.
Right. And Uncle Ethan, like I said, Uncle Ethan knows how much I appreciate him. And dude, I think he's amazing, but it's okay if we disagree. I'm not, and I'm not one of those guys. I don't get into drama. None of that stuff works for me. But no, I, like I said, I will probably watch the stream you're talking about because I pretty much watch all of Ethan's streams. So, yeah, it is what it is. We're going to disagree on stuff and it's okay. Some of us will see things differently. It can't be helped. We're individual people. We're all shaped by the life experiences that we've had along the way. And I won't do that on a stream where I have no context to the conversation. So, but I appreciate that, Demonized. I just want you guys to know that I don't get at odds with people very easily, and I certainly wouldn't with Ethan. He's done a lot of things. He's been in a business that has been pretty screwed up by the woke culture and the intersectional feminism and all that. So if anybody, is going to have a take on something that maybe has a little bit more nuance, it might be him. So let's not dive into that. Ain't going to work. Jason has something for us here, though. He's trying to shift directions or something.
Just a little.
Sadie, stop licking the cat's
butt. Why is it not? Whoa,
know.
That's gross. Why are you? Thanks for sharing that with the class.
God.
Hey, Jason, I don't
get us out of this for a minute.
Jason, I don't see this.
That's weird. Wait, there it is.
Oh, there it is. Hello. Oh, wow. Who's this? What is this?
Haley Atwell.
Oh, she's awesome.
Mission Impossible.
And we're not even going to talk about the fact that Ken was in the back seat the whole time,
surgery
too.
Scars.
Yeah, that was creepy. Ken being in the back seat. I'm like,
he was literally stuck in the back
Ken
seat.
always drove. What was that?
Subservient man-slave.
How best the women get their fantasy out in the movie as opposed to taking over the world.
Hey, I just want to say this: having Haley Atwell in the Mission Impossible 7 movie was an upgrade. That's all I want to say about that. I do want to say Jagan 75. Yeah, Jagan 75 says the patriarchy seems to be set in Hollywood's mind so much. What's wrong with them? I don't know. We haven't had the patriarchy in 4 decades, maybe 5, maybe 6.
More, really. Honestly, women have ran things so much longer than anybody wants to give them credit for. Because wars have been fought over them. Women have always run things behind the scenes. There's that saying of behind every great man, there's a great woman, or every good man, there's a great woman. Well, yeah. In most cases,
it's not true equality until women at the age of 18 have to register for the draft.
Yeah.
That's the other thing is there's this understood chivalry to where we've always just had this thing
Hey, well,
about us that
hey, Paulie's here. I didn't know.
Yeah, he's in the back.
Do better, Polly. Do better.
He could have showed up on my show and he didn't.
Wow, look at this. He's like, Tom is run by 6. Well, probably true.
Runner by 6. Huh?
Yeah, he's typing.
Run by 6, is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Well, she keeps me on time and shit.
Yeah, she does.
She reminds me of shit all the time.
I wouldn't piss 6 off.
Yeah, no, 6 is amazing. Master, there's a million reasons she could have been going there. I've seen a lot of people assuming she's going for birth control.
Exactly.
I think it's an ignorant take.
Well, they didn't even have to have it, though.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
She may have been going for a yearly
if she was
checkup.
sexually active, you've got to have your exams.
I took it as her virgin flight to actually get shaped to become a real woman. That's
well,
what
I don't know about that.
No, I mean, but that's the whole thing. They keep talking about the lack of genitals. It's just kind of, it's in other words. I'm sure there's many takes, but that is a natural.
So I need to take a Barbie doll and do a video of a. Okay.
I know. You know what? That's the thanks for putting that in my head. You know what? That is a good place to draw an end.
Okay, Barbie, here we go.
Y'all want to talk Barbie? We're talking Barbie. We're getting real tonight. I mean, it is what it is.
I want to go to bed. I don't know about anybody else.
Sorry, Culture.
I've been working all afternoon, so I'm letting loose finally. I guess.
Oh wow!
Plus, I took pain pills, so I'm starting to get real loopy.
Yeah,
and shit's gonna start getting loose in my tongue.
Yeah, and here we go. We got Pet Brett wants to know who's EVS. EVS is Ethan Van Sciver. He's one of the most talented comic book creators out there.
Ethan's awesome. Uncle Ethan's awesome. We don't always agree on everything. That's what I would ask him is why would you say something like that and then say something that doesn't really match it? But it's a debate. Maybe I'll ask him next Flashcast. Who knows?
And maybe he was being sarcastic.
And Tom and Uncle Ethan hang out all the time. Like I said,
from time to time, yeah.
Yeah, let's not like I said, I want everybody to have their opinion on this, but I want it to be an informed one. And if anybody can get informed on a subject, it'd be Ethan. But we are all going to have a different.
Is Barbie the largest open for a movie this year?
No, it's the largest open for a film directed by a woman.
I think it's actually also the largest opening for a movie this year. Culture.
That's what I asked.
Because it beat Mario.
It did. How? I just showed you the numbers.
Well, I think by the opening weekend standard, anyway.
If you take the numbers away from the previews, does that number for that one?
No, you always calculate that into the equation. So, but we looked at the final. Please don't make me bring this up again.
Well,
yeah, but math is difficult for me to understand without Mikey here to explain it to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Numbers hard, Culture.
It was,
come on.
yeah. Super Mario Brothers was 204, and this has not made that.
Okay, fine. I was wrong. I was reading. That was what the headline said. I was going off of that.
No,
regardless,
what the headline said.
Yeah. No.
Making me.
At the end of the day, what I was going to say in my defense as a man, like I thought, and most women and other people thought the same thing when she was going to her gynecologist appointment. Most people thought she was going to be the head of Mattel. Like my other two choices were she's going to be either the head of Mattel, or she's going to play Barbie on a TV show, or she's actually going to be, since she's living in the real world now, the meta joke will be she's changing her name to Margot Robbie, and then she's going onto the set and playing Barbie in the Barbie movie. It's like a meta,
that would have been a good ending. Thing. Like any of those three endings is where I thought it was going. I did not, for the life of me, expect the gynecologist joke, and neither did a bunch of other people in the theater, because I swear to gosh, I'm not on my fucking child. I'm telling you this, 3 or 4 kids at least, I heard behind me going, "What's that?" Mm-hmm.
I shit you not.
God, a lot of those other explanations, I feel like I went really dark with it. Am I the only one who went that dark with it, that she was becoming intact through her gynecologist?
Well, I mean, I've made the joke that she got.
As a woman.
I mean, I've made the joke that this whole movie is about, basically Barbie breaking up with Ken and getting bottom surgery, but
that's the way I took that ending, Tom.
Other people
I groaned so bad when I saw that. I was like, you're not going to end this beautiful scene that she has with her inventor and just this gorgeous, she's talking to her and I'm crying and I'm like, we need more of this. And then she walks in, hey, gynecologist. That's the way I took it. That's where you're going to take it, Barbie? Your sexual liberation, Barbie, now, because you can actually do it? it just left a really bad taste in my mouth.
I'll just wait till Barbie does Dallas.
Yeah, the thing that Tom was talking about earlier about this setting back everything that we've done since Ghostbusters.
I think that's a little bit hyperbolic, but it's okay.
What if? And I want to maybe reassure Tom just a little bit. Because we see a lot of people that are talking about the marketing and how much this is a bait and switch, not the movie that's been sold. What if a lot of women find on the surface, we liked it, it was fun, it was cute, it was whatever. Now 5 minutes later, 2 days later, hang on, I'm starting to think about this, and I really didn't like what it said. Because people start to process this, and maybe they realize how much of a bait and switch it might have been, and maybe we don't get that fourth wave feminist.
I think
wave
I'm with you, Jason. Do you know why? And I'm just going to add to your thing.
Because I'm smart.
Well, that too, but also because The Force Awakens had that effect on people.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that took a while, and that was also the biggest fucking movie of all time, so that's not a good fucking example. Look, I hope you guys are right. I just want to say this. I'll tell you what, here's what I'll do for you guys. I will back off on a lot of that shit. But come next fucking weekend, next Sunday night, when we're here in the same exact fucking place, and this movie doesn't fall off like we hope it does, then I'm fucking right.
Well,
because this is a problem.
I weep for the future.
Exactly. I weep for the future too, guys, because at this point, it doesn't even really matter. Because this movie it's already a phenomenon. Like, that was a thing that kind of hit the thing on the head, that so many people are like, you're overreacting, but they're also saying how much of a phenomenon it is and how much of this and that and the other. It's like, well, it's either one or the other. Either it's that big of a deal or it's not. Because you can't say I'm making a big deal out of something when it's this cultural movement at the same time.
Except if it can be that big of a deal, but it can also be a flash in the pan, because there could be that big of a deal.
I hope so, but is there going to be anything to distract them? That's my question, though. I don't know.
All right.
But the problem is that it could be a flash in the pan, but what do little girls do? What do little kids do? They parrot. If they get their hands on the movie and they watch it over and over and over, that's going to be a form of conditioning. I know it sounds extreme, but that's kids. They may not understand the message, but they're going to understand the words and they're going to repeat them. And that's going to become a part of a culture that they grow up in. That's the only thing that I'm concerned about. If more movies like this come out and continue to come out, it could be a progression.
There we go. From Master Sidearms, the last of Barbie. In a post-apocalyptic future, Barbie must escort Ken across a dangerous landscape in order to provide a cure for humanity. P.S. You're welcome, Neil. Season 2 is now written in full. Wow.
Here's something Mrs. Boss was talking about today. She made the observation. If you were really going to do, because everybody's been talking about the marketing and the whole Barbenheimer and everything, the two of them together. We see all these posters, these all mashup posters and everything. Is that we already had that movie? It was called Tank Girl. I mean, there have been these post-apocalyptic, action style. Tank Girl. You had what was the one that Pam Anderson was in?
Barbed Wire.
Barbed Wire.
Yeah, stuff like that. That should be the next Barbie movie.
Well, Barbie I'll tell you what. After this, like, if I don't get the most macho He-Man movie ever goddamn made, I'm gonna throw a fit. It better be the most mantastic fucking He-Man movie you've ever seen. Like, it is so fucking swole and full of masochism that the fucking movie just oozes sweat and cum.
Where do you think it lands now that Netflix has killed it?
That's I don't think Netflix killed it so much as Mattel wanted them to let it go. Because they knew this was going to hit big. Watch, there's going to be a fucking frenzy on fucking tomorrow morning, for the rights to Masters of the Universe after this shit.
Okay. They're already in.
Sorry, I'm getting overworked. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that, and we need to end the stream. But for those of you who are
I'm stoned now. Fuck.
There are 17 films from Mattel coming in at various points of production. Just so you know. So you have
the Uno film.
Well, and J.J.
it's-
Abrams gets Hot Wheels because it has plenty of headlights and metal for him to
Yeah,
do
so you can get all that
reflective
fucking-
surfaces and yeah.
His wife told him not to do that anymore, though, right? And
It
the
didn't-
women run
it didn't-
things.
How is he not going to be able to in Hot Wheels the movie?
Yeah.
I guarantee you that first teaser trailer is so chock full of fucking lens flare that you're going to be blind.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the cock.
That's right. Oh my God. You know what's going to be funny is if J.J. Abrams makes the best fucking Hot Wheels movie we've ever seen in the world.
It might
It's
be.
just,
That's the
it's just a
messed up thing,
shallow
right?
enough fucking property
Yeah.
that he might just
Well,
happen to inject
He
it
still
full
won't
of.
be able to stick the landing, though.
No,
Gran
you're probably
Turismo
right.
is going to be the most transcendent film of our time.
I'm not sure any of that's true, but I know this. All right.
Right.
On that note, we are going to begin our outro process. If you've never been here before, we're going to fill the next 11 minutes.
It's not our fault that you have to have this fucking elaborate extra exit thingy.
It actually is. In fact, I want to
Oh
say
my
thank
God,
you
the
to
cockroach.
all of tonight's special guests. They will participate in the outro. They just don't know when because it's random. You've got Jason here, Toxic Man Flu. You've got Arwen Avalon and Tom Connors. They are all incredible entertainers, wonderful friends, and masters of their own domains. I'm going to have a very long conversation with one of them after an email I received today.
Is it
On
me
that note-
or is it Jason?
No, you're fine. You will get punished. That's different.
What the fuck
On
did
that
I
note.
do?
We'll talk after the show.
Oh,
Hold on a
man, I
second.
hate that.
Survey said.
That's right.
If he won't say it on the show, then it's bad.
Yes. Yes. it
I did
is.
not put my penis in the dip again. I get it. Dip does not mean put your penis in it.
Oh,
Tom,
goodness.
I've told you a million times, tzatziki is not Greek for dick dip. All right?
Why, hello there, random citizen.
Oh, hey there, little buddy. How's it going?
Have you subscribed to Culture Casino yet?
Well, no.
Friggin' A.
Oh!
These guys, I tell ya.
Oh!
This is the only one I like because it put culture in traction for like
Dang
a
it,
week.
I missed.
That's his Jackie Chan moment.
Why won't these guys just subscribe already?
That hurt.
See, that's real. It's like Tom Cruise, y'all. You put us up first? What the hell?
I got nothing.
You got nothing? Well, I was just talking about.
I got Minnie bought this for me for anniversary.
Oh, that's cool.
And,
you know
and
what was?
She only had to hear me say one time that I was interested to get the book, and here it is.
That's weird. I got a book in the mail today on a Sunday. I ordered it late last night, and Amazon got it to me today. I was
That's
like, what
fast.
the fuck?
What
Yeah, it
book?
was The Making of Tootsie.
It was at this moment that he knew. He up.
Hey, Arwen, how you doing? I am so sorry this film sucked. I really
You
am.
know, to be honest, I am too, and I'm a little worried about Tom because
Tom's just high. That's all it is.
I'm getting the impression he really liked this film, and I don't know how to break it to him. but I
Oh
don't
yeah,
think it's
Tom
as
is
good as he
definitely a
says it
closet
is.
Barbie lover. And it's obvious.
You know, I'm like, yeah, I just kind of I hear his voice change when he talks about it, and his heart
It does.
starts beating, and it gets a little higher, and it's like
He
Tom,
smoked a
are you-
bale of weed tonight on this show. An actual bale.
See, I
To
don't
deal with this
know.
pain.
You
Yeah.
well, in some ways, it kind of makes sense because you can't like this movie and not be stoned out of your gourd. And if he was, then that would explain a lot, wouldn't it?
Mhm. Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's a symbolism of how divisive we've become as a country because this isn't the only place that this is happening. It's just showing
No.
here, and I think we were doing better with some of the films around. I think the positive it came from Sound of Freedom
Mhm.
to those who are this is what Hollywood should be doing, all that stuff. Those people have been hit down by this movie, which is why I'm not going to go see it. I'm not going to be brought down from that. I'm going to go see actually Sound of Freedom with Mrs. Flu. We're probably going to watch Oppenheimer at some point if I have 6 hours to spend on it. I just, why? Mission Impossible, 90 minutes too long.
I have no interest in seeing that.
You could have made that movie 45 minutes. It would have been a much better film.
Yeah, I've not seen one of the Mission Impossibles ever. And I just, for some reason, and I tend to enjoy, I'm not a big Tom Cruise fan at all. I never have been.
Well,
but I do enjoy his performances in the movies that he does. So,
well,
yes,
after Maverick, I mean, I thought Maverick was a really good film, but it was an ensemble piece, really. I mean, it was him, but there was a bunch of other people that were in that movie.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I thought that was great. I think we were expecting that of Mission Impossible. That's not what we got. There's some good parts of that.
But we don't get a lot what we want, do we, anymore?
Tom's complaining back in the private chat that Arwen and I are getting a whole lot more time than they did.
Never going to give you up, never going to let you down, never going to run around. And first, you never going to make you cry, never going to say goodbye, never going to tell a lie.
Hey, what did you think about the ladies' night aspect of tonight's show? Marwin? Hello?
Are you there, Culture?
I'm there. What did you think?
Because all I saw was a black screen, and I'm like,
no,
is my internet bugging, or are you actually
you're fine. What did you think of tonight's ladies' night portion of the stream? Did you enjoy it?
I did. I enjoyed it very much. I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
I think the audience liked it too. And we've got more of these coming in the future if we can ever find any more of the I don't know, interesting ladies things. I mean, you guys have interesting things, but we can't show them on the screen.
Well, let me tell you, one thing about ladies is we never run out of things to say or topics to talk about. So
That's true.
Anything's up for grabs.
Whoa, hey now.
Matt Mardigan. My name is Matt, and I'm here to say it is because of my happiness you think I am gay. I make good rhymes and I have funny jokes. I have no rival and that is no blow. People keep trying to be like me for their popularity, but you can never achieve what comes to me so easily. I'm so far over your head, you are more lost than if you were in Wonderland. There's no advice given, caterpillar. Step this and I'll sell you a killer. We Matt Mardigan. You can't get to me, you are and that smart again. We gonna light this up like we Matt Mardigan. Scared the shit out of you, gonna make you short again. Harp on the start from the part, stab you in the heart again. Them days aren't all raw, I have come too far. Stinging in the eggs like last month's enema. Saying a word with a hard on from inside your car. Acting hard like it's hard recast as a star. I lay awake and remember back to then. Time so tough, would never ever end. Hard to be a loner when you got no friends. With a life not even worth a defend. We gonna light this up like we Matt Mardigan. Like we Matt Mardigan. Matt Mardigan. Rewind. Let's go back to start again. This retard did a fart on a part of the den.
Hey, Tom, how you doing? Oh, look at Sadie. She's so pretty. She is so cute.
She wakes pitch.
See, this is the best way to end a show, right?
She's
You
like
got
almost out of reach here.
Yeah, well, she does that
You're
on
not
purpose.
making this easy.
No, but you know what? She's not wearing Cone of Shame anymore.
Oh, hell no. Her
Hey,
hair's
dude, you're
actually
rocking a
starting to grow back.
Blu-ray, I see. What you got up there?
Oh, this was my movies from this week. I got 10 Little Indians I watched.
Nice.
Death on the Nile and
that one's good.
Murder on the Orient. Agatha Christie
you
movies.
want both of those this week?
Yeah.
So what do you think about the new versions? They're good?
Yeah, all right. There's some stupid woke shit here and there, but like for the other most part, it's like not too bad. I'm kind of actually looking forward to the third one coming in September.
All right, as long as it's not a freaking, Glass Onion bullshit. Fucking, my God.
Now Sadie's licking herself.
Well, at least she's not licking the cat's hiney now. All right,
No, that's true. She was doing that before.
I have to actually use a paid sponsor now, so we're gonna get out of here for a sec, okay?
Neighbors bothering you with their loud music? Your boss or coworker harassing you?
Wait, what? Who said that?
Maybe you have a roommate who cries in their sleep. Bully Mays here with a solution that proves every problem has a mortality rate. Introducing Shank Crate, your all-in-one monthly subscription box that can take care of those in-your-face issues. Each box contains new and unique materials for you to build your very own custom shank.
Oh my gosh.
And for your protection, the contents of each box are totally secret until you receive it. And not only does it create solutions, it also serves as a creative outlet, like an adult form of Lego.
Oh, yeah.
Right? That is a literal knife's edge.
Maybe you, like some of our other customers, have questions.
Can I bring it to school?
Who's ever heard of a pencil not being allowed at school?
Can you store it in a pocket?
Absolutely.
What if you don't, have any pocket?
Your discretion. Whether you're conscientious about the earth or just not opposed to being a good steward of the environment, each Shank Crate and its contents are made of 100% recycled materials to make sure we're environmentally friendly. And if you order now, we'll be extra sensitive to the environment and keep all the original fingerprints on the items for your convenience. All for the low cost of $19.99 a month. Call 626-831-9333 to get your Shank Crate today. If you call now and secure your monthly subscription for only $19.99, you'll get your very own alibi insurance for those slightly stickier situations. But wait again, there's even more. To be inclusive, culturally respectful, and as patriotic as possible, each monthly box is themed after a unique prison in the US of A. So call 626-831-9333 now to get your very own unique, patriotic, and environmentally friendly Shank Crate with your own personal alibi insurance.
Yeah. Sometimes I get so mad, there's no controlling me. My thoughts get so bad, I'm like, I might grab a bat, I don't know. My wrath, my blood boils over like, oh God, here goes. I lost all feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me fucked up, let me show you what's up. Cause enough is enough. I'll take a face full of pavement just to make a statement. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll play it on your face to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And now you gon' wish you would shut the fuck up real bad. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. I don't fucking take smoke, I'ma poke a hole through you, choking's overdue. Come at me and you won't get any older, dude. Crack your holder too. Heating up inside of me, blood so violently. Thanks for trying me. Now it's finally time to see how this rivalry becomes a dynasty. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll play it on your face to make you go take it back.
Hey everybody, did you have fun tonight?
Are we still
I did.
on? the
Yeah,
show?
oh yeah, we're definitely
Okay.
live. You have to be positive just once.
Did I have a good time on the show? Yeah. Anytime Arwen's on, she's a lot of fun. She's a lot of
You
fun.
are too.
That phrasing, maybe?
Jason, yeah, whatever. He knows too much.
Yeah.
He's always got answers to everything. Kind of like Tom.
he runs the internet.
He does from his basement. He's just way too smart.
What'd I do?
Look at see.
Yeah,
I just
there
got
we go.
back. I had to let Sadie out.
Oh, all right.
I-
Hey,
I would say
yeah.
Tom
Well, I was
knows
just asking, did you have fun on the show tonight, Tom?
I'm stoned.
Cool. All right. Well, credits incoming, and then yeah. And
I thought it
we're
was
not
really
over
good
yet.
that you had a bunch
we
of
were
women
already
before
off
we
the
were
stream. What the fuck? I better put my pants back on.
Why do I feel like I missed something? I feel like I missed something. I definitely missed something. Oh.